Several grocery store owners report that beverage sales are off as much as 40%. The repeal was sent to committee, could see a vote next month. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Protesters this morning demanding answers about the Chicago woman found dead last weekend in a hotel freezer in Rosemont.
We ain't gonna stop until we find out what happened to my sister. The truth.
Dozens of demonstrators gathered at the Crowne Plaza Hotel, the site where Kanika Jenkins' body was discovered early on Sunday. Authorities say they plan to show surveillance video from the hotel to the victim's mother later today. Sheriff Tom Dart banning a CPS principal from entering the Cook County Jail over allegations of academic fraud at the high school inside the correctional facility. Dart requesting that an interim principal be assigned to replace the principal, Sharnette Sims, who is no longer allowed at the jail. Suburban commuter rail agency Metra considering hiking fares by up to 20% and cutting weekend service. Metra officials say higher costs for staffing and material and cuts in subsidies by the state are behind the fare increase. Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan and her office issuing a handbook for law enforcement following a new state law limiting cooperation between local authorities and federal immigration agents. Among things, in the handbook, the guidance says Illinois authorities cannot honor immigration detainers because of the law. However, the guidance comes as McHenry County Sheriff Bill Pym faces a lawsuit over claims that he's sidestepping the law and honoring those federal detainers. Chicago's planned municipal IDs will have multiple uses, according to the mayor, who announced yesterday. The ID will be able to function as a CTA fare card and a library card as well. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Chris Kennedy set to announce his new running mate today. The Tribune says the son of Robert F. Kennedy has chosen Rod Joy. The government reform activist is an African-American who is the executive director of the Chicago-based coalition Change Illinois. His 23-year-old son was shot and killed near the University of Chicago in June. Charges are pending following an armed robbery in Buffalo Grove. 3 arrived in a U-Haul truck last night, began stealing property from a business. Police later spotted that truck in Lincolnshire and began the chase. The truck crashed. 3 suspects ran off. Eventually, they were nabbed. JPMorgan Chase planning to invest $40 million into Chicago's struggling south and west sides. The money, according to Chase, will fund job training and small business expansion. Chicago sports, Cubs smacked 16 hits in a 17-5 rout of the Mets at Wrigley Field. Jose Abreu, Avisail Garcia drove in runs in the top of the ninth, lifting the White Sox to a 5-3 win over the Royals, and they take the rubber match of that 3-game set in Kansas City. Preps for the BMW at Conway Farms continue today ahead of Friday's opening round. And the news is a service of bakerywork.com, now hiring experienced maintenance mechanics needed to maintain and repair bakery machinery. Apply now. Positions open in Romeoville, Cicero, and Chicago. Competitive compensation and benefits packages apply now at bakerywork.com. That's bakerywork.com. 5:06, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
See filmmaker and the best-selling author of Hillary's America, Dinesh D'Souza, on Saturday, November 11th at Freedom Summit 2017 at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. He'll be appearing with Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Also appearing, radio talk show host Larry Elder, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, and Amy Jacobson. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant, too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby, too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation. It's free. Make plans now to attend the 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at a new location, the Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. The 58th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 21st through the 23rd at the brand new location, the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. More info at ilnaclub.org. That's ilnaclub.org.
5:09. Let's get an update on that ride around town. Morning commute this early morning. A little foggy in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
That's right, Mike. Good morning. Despite that thick fog, we're looking at the flight boards at O'Hare and Midway, and at the moment we're seeing very few, almost no delays, actually. Keep an eye on that. Fortunately, we have a major problem on the rails. This just happened a few minutes ago on Metra's Union Pacific North Line. A train inbound due downtown at 5:23 this morning stopped south of Highwood Station. There's been a pedestrian incident. Everything stopped in that area. West side of Chicago, car hitting a pole, division in California. The crash on the outbound Eisenhower. It's stop and go from East Avenue to past Harlem. Crash blocking the two left lanes. On Stevenson, heavy 53 to near 355 with construction work. Traffic, service of Cook County Department of Public Health. Prevent mosquito bites and the diseases they carry, like West Nile and Zika. Fight the bite this fall by removing standing water, wearing repellent, repairing torn window and door screens. Learn more at fightthebitecookcounty.com. Sponsored by the Cook County Department of Public Health. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Dense fog advisory in effect for the morning. Patchy morning fog, otherwise partly sunny, high today 81. Clear night, low 62. Sunshine tomorrow, high 85. And a clear night tomorrow night, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
61 and fog at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We talked about Jameel Hill yesterday. She's the ESPN host who had a tweet storm a couple days ago calling President Trump a white supremacist, all the people around him white supremacists. Because of your white privilege, you may not be afraid of Trump, but I am. And the standard at ESPN. The standard at ESPN, because ESPN apologized for Hill on her behalf. We haven't heard from her.
Oh, we have heard from her. She tweeted last night. I'm firing it up, but finished. She said, my comments on Twitter express my personal beliefs. My regret is that my comments and the public way I made them painted ESPN in an unfair light. My respect for the company and my colleagues remains unconditional.
Right. Like I said, we haven't heard from her other than to give a hey, thanks for having my back.
Hey, yeah.
Corporate higher ups.
That was last night at 10:38 p.m.
Yeah. So that's not, obviously she's not apologizing for the remarks.
Not at all.
She stands by them. That's the translation from that tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, ESPN has history here when people have tweeted about things outside of their professional responsibilities. Kurt Schilling got suspended, fired. Britt McHenry got suspended, ultimately fired, unrelated.
And one of my favorite, Linda Cohn. She spoke out, about politics at ESPN when she tweeted, ESPN is talking too much at politics. That's what she had written a long time ago in a tweet.
And she got suspended.
Oh, yeah. That vice president of the company loves to approach people while they're in the lunchroom, and went up to her and said, why don't you think before you tweet, and you can think about it because you're going to have today off because you're suspended.
Kurt Schilling,
Unbelievable.
one of those who was fired, tweeted out saying, anyone asking, she didn't get fired because Disney and ESPN are fine with liberal racism versus conservative logic. Only naysayers to that are liars. So in other words, this is who ESPN is, and this is what they want. And Clay Travis, who's Fox Sports and Outkick the Coverage, very good sports reporter, he's actually broken a number of these stories we've talked about. The Robert Lee story about that sportscaster being reassigned from the UVA home opener because he has the same name as a dead Confederate general.
But he's Asian.
He broke the story about 100 people being fired from ESPN. And he also said on Tucker Carlson that he's hearing that there's another 100 that are going to go soon because ESPN is hemorrhaging viewership.
Oh, I've got someone they can get rid of. Jamil Harris.
Jamil
Hill.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Here's Clay Travis explaining why this goes on with ESPN.
Jamel Hill is saying what the higher-ups at ESPN believe. I think this goes all the way to the top, Tucker. Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, follows 59 people on Twitter. One of them is Jamel Hill. And I think what has happened is Disney and ESPN have decided we want to be a left-wing sports network. And so if a guy like Kurt Schilling comes out and he says, I disagree with the North Carolina transgender bathroom law, he gets fired. If a guy like Mike Ditka says, I don't think Barack Obama was a good president and I'm voting for Donald Trump, he gets fired. But if Jamel Hill comes out and says that Donald Trump's a white supremacist, the only reason he got elected president is because he's white and that all of his supporters are effectively bigots, she gets rewarded. She gets wrapped on the knuckles. She continues to do her show because Bob Iger and John Skipper, the CEO of Disney and the president of ESPN, agree with her and want left-leaning politics to be the forward-facing front of ESPN.
So there it is, that this is who ESPN is, Jamel Hill, and this is who they want to be. The question is, are you going to want to watch ESPN, even if you're a sports nut like I am? Are you dumping ESPN? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line.
It's hard, though. What if your favorite game's on? How else are you going to watch it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Luddite. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways, maybe that internet thing, right?
It's true. No, but that's true. I mean, there's
I'm
programming.
stuck in a quandrum because I love sports like you. I watch it to escape and just see, the competitive nature of it. But then I feel like I'm supporting ESPN Network.
I used to watch SportsCenter all the time, and college basketball. Obviously, ESPN has sort of a corner on that market.
Now we have the Big Ten Network, so that's good for us Big Ten people.
Yeah.
What?
So ESPN basically is cornered the market on college basketball, so that this is an issue. But I have to say, I've stopped watching ESPN altogether. Maybe I'll watch some games on during college basketball season, but I've also dropped it. I mean, I don't have ESPN anymore.
Really?
I'm done with it. And frankly, I'm just about done with cable thanks to the advent of Netflix and Amazon and just the on-demand world in which we live. But Clay Travis goes on in his talk with Tucker to talk about ESPN and essentially, to pose the question, think about this, people who are of a center-right perspective, people that don't agree with the ignorant rantings of a Jamil Hill.
Well, the easy
That's what I
answer,
thought.
Tucker, would be look at ESPN's ratings. They're collapsing. Another idea would be look at their business model. They've lost 13 million subscribers in the past few years, and they're alienating their core audience, which is guys and girls who just want to pop a beer and watch a football game. They don't want to hear that Colin Kaepernick is a modern-day Rosa Parks. They don't want to hear, Tucker, that someone like Caitlyn Jenner is a hero that everyone should aspire to be, or that Michael Sam, because he likes to sleep with men, is a modern-day Jackie Robinson. Those are things that ESPN wants to sell. That's why I call them MS ESPN. I don't know how people who voted for Donald Trump can feel comfortable at all watching ESPN when they know the values that network espouses and how unwelcome their own values are.
Yeah. I think
They're
that
trying
puts
to
a fine
shame.
point on it.
Yeah, they're trying to shame President Trump supporters, obviously, but they want to get their own agenda apart. Well, I'm saying with the tweets that she released, Trump is the most ignorant, offensive president of my lifetime. His rise is a direct result of white supremacy, period. He's not a leader. And if he were not white, this is my favorite, he never would have been elected. Okay, Ms. Hill. That makes a lot of sense.
So the ESPN double standard on black and white, it turns out that so far it appears that it's actually Jamil Hill that has the privilege.
Yeah, and she'll probably get a raise after this. If you go to her Twitter page, her first picture on there is her at the Obamas' Christmas party, not once, but 2 years in a row. You know, when you go to your Twitter, it's a picture of you and Cardinal Bernardine. So when you go to her Twitter.
The pin tweet.
Yeah, the pin tweet. I don't know what you call it, but now I know, so I'm glad I came to work today. So her pin tweet is that. So, I mean, I've watched the show a few times. It's on at 6 o'clock here, but I would never turn it on because it makes me sick, the double standard. Because any white journalist who did this would be gone in a hot second.
Well, coming up, Sarah Huckabee Sanders responded on behalf of the White House. Was that a judicious response that Sanders offered, even if you share her opinion? We'll take your calls, 312-642-5600.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Also, too, I'm starting to like Bostonians better. Wait until you hear what they did to some Black Lives Matters fans at last night's baseball game. But first, here's your forecast. Partly sunny, patchy, morning fog. Oh, the next gen's not up. Thank you. Then by this afternoon, it's going to be becoming warm, more humid, a high of 81. And then we're really going to get into it the next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Highs in the mid to upper 80s with plenty of sunshine. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic centers. The fog affecting the roadways. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Yes, it's affecting visibility. Definitely allow some extra time in following this. There's places where you can't see very far. Their visibility is under a quarter mile in parts of the area. Big problem, Metra's Union Pacific North Line, a pedestrian incident just about 30 minutes ago now. It's near Highwood Station, just south of there. Train due downtown in about 2 minutes is stopped there due to this ongoing situation. The other lines are looking good. We have delays on the Eisenhower Expressway outbound due to a crash involving 5 vehicles. Heavy Austin to Harlem, the crash just pushed out of the way. 36 minutes downtown to Thorndale, inbound fine at 29. Edens, Kennedy, all clear. Northbound I-55, we'll have roadwork delays from Veterans Parkway to near 355. Inbound Ryan just a little tight coming into downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, 2 or 3 minutes worth of delays approaching the merge. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, one thing I know for sure is that so many of our Morning Answer listeners get a great night's sleep because so many of you have purchased MyPillows and have saved a lot of money. Now, if you don't sleep on a MyPillow, I suggest you act now. I have no idea why you don't have one. I mean, by using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack, including 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. You can move the fill to give you the support you need. It's made in America. That's what I love. The true patriot and founder Mike Lindell also donated 60,000 pillows to Texas flood victims. So get your 50% off the 4-pack in September and October by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit mypillow.com. That's 489-0201, promo code Amy.
It's not often you hear about a great career opportunity on the radio. A career opportunity perfect for ambitious, responsible, and mechanically inclined individuals truly looking for a long-term career opportunity. Unique Repair Service, headquartered in Chicagoland, is a well-established industry leader in factory-authorized appliance repair and a premier service provider for many of America's largest retailers. Unique is experiencing unprecedented growth and is looking to immediately hire a number of technician trainees to learn the business and grow in the company. Benefits include medical insurance, paid holidays and vacation, as well as company-provided vehicle, laptop, phone, and gas card. So if you, a loved one or friend, are mechanically inclined and would like information about a career opportunity with an industry leader, call Mike Avila today at 877-219-5960. That's Mike Avila of Unique Repair Service at 877-219-5960. Unique Repair Service is an equal opportunity employer and proud supporter of AM 560's charity golf outing for the 100 Club of Chicago.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
AM 560, The Answer.
So,
Stop it, you're making me laugh.
Sticking on ESPN and the Jamel Hill saga. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, White House press secretary, was asked about it yesterday.
I thought she did a great job.
Here's what she said.
Yesterday said Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists. His rise is a direct result of white supremacy, period. He's unqualified and fit to be president. Why do you think, do you have a reaction to that? And is the president aware of that comment? And
I'm not sure if he's aware, but I think that's one of the more outrageous comments that anyone could make, and certainly something that I think is a fireable offense by ESPN.
What's wrong with that?
You fine with what Sarah Huckabee Sanders had to say? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You know
what? She said it's a fireable offense, and later on she said she should be fired.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you want her to have said?
Not that.
Okay.
Inappropriate. Show some restraint. This is the problem with American culture today, government-centric. You don't need to opine on every issue, even when it's an attack on the principal, meaning the president. And in particular, you're not a C-suite executive at ESPN. Show the restraint that the left never does to come in and tell businesses how to run themselves. Even if you don't like it, I have no use for ESPN, as I said. And we're doing our best to expose who ESPN is and exactly what they think of center-right voters or people who disagree with them. I mean, you heard the intemperate comments from Hill. It is inappropriate for Huckabee Sanders, if you're a free market conservative type, and she is a sentinel of the state, to be weighing in on what is a fireable and what is not a fireable offense. You can characterize the comments if you want. You can speak to what those comments say about where we are at in our political discourse and the quality of it. Sure, fine. When she's using the words fireable offense, stay out of ESPN's business and everybody else's business. That's what
I'm asking you.
That's what a conservative should be saying anytime the government would intervene and attempt to make a personnel decision or influence a personnel decision.
Okay, you're Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I'm the reporter. What do you think should happen to Jamal Hill?
It's not. That's for ESPN to decide. They're a private company. The government has no role in making personnel decisions for private companies.
Next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going, and I would. This would be a teachable moment for those jackals in the D.C. press corps. Now, and then I would stop and say, did you hear what I said? Because I want you to understand there are places that the federal government shouldn't go. And that's what this administration believes. And you've never heard, or at least probably not since Reagan, maybe W to some extent, restraint from the federal government, as if there are spaces that it shouldn't go, that it shouldn't use its monopoly of force and omnipresent influence as leverage. And this is one of them. Even though we vehemently disagree with what was said and the quality of what was said, and people can judge for themselves, this is a place that we're not going to go because we have restraint. And one of the problems in America is it has become so government-centric, and you have the state unrestrained. That would have been a great moment. But instead, she just kind of played down to the, oh, yeah, everybody's in the moral indignation game, and there is nothing that is off limits for the government. I don't like it. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. You know what? I agree with you, Dan, 100%, but I think she should have went one step further and just asked the reporter, what does white supremacy mean to you? Because I tell you right now, I'm sitting in my car and I'm hearing all this racist and white supremacy. I have no idea what it means anymore because they never gave an example of it, of how he was a racist. They just call him that. Anyone that enforces any federal law, like Amy's friend, the sheriff out there in Arizona, he was called a racist and a bigot and all of this good stuff. What does this stuff mean anymore? They're just throwing these terms out there. Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call, Ed. What it means is you've lost the argument. That's what it means. It's the last refuge of somebody who can't make a substantive case on point, so they fall back on the isms and the phobias. That's what it is.
And yet last night, racism was front and center at the Boston Red Sox game. Somebody hung a huge banner that said racism is as American as baseball. There were Black Lives Matter, people, and they got escorted out of the park.
I thought it was not appropriate, and it's not something we agree with, and I don't think it's the right place to be doing things like that.
Yeah, I don't like mixing our politics with our sports. We come to places like this to kind of get away from that, escape from that, kind of unite. Sports tends to unite us more than anything else.
You don't expect it coming to Fenway, coming to a ball game like this. Boston is about love and coming together, not that.
Well, and I'm sorry Ben Affleck and Matt Damon couldn't see the end of the game.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Why the left hates, who the left hates, and how the left hates. Update on the Southern Poverty Law Center at 5:38.
And thousands of dreamers now have a new lifeline, all thanks to Chuck and Nancy. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
62. Watch out for the heavy fog this morning. The president traveling to Florida today. President and the First Lady flying to the Gulf Coast city of Naples to view damage from Hurricane Irma. 8 are now dead after a Florida nursing home's air conditioning system went out in the wake of the hurricane. Police found the 71 to 99-year-old victims as they went through the Hollywood Hills Rehabilitation Center. Vermont progressive independent Senator Bernie Sanders and more than a dozen other liberal Democrats are introducing a single-payer health care bill. Sanders called it Medicare for All.
Health care in America must be a right, not a privilege.
Republicans say the federal government would be that single payer and argue the cost to taxpayers would be enormous. House and Senate Democrat leaders say they've reached some sort of a deal with the president to protect illegal immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had dinner with the president and then issued a joint statement last night saying they agreed to preserve DACA into law. Police investigating a shooting at a Washington State high school that left 1 teen dead and 3 hurt.
He attempted to fire one weapon, it jammed. He went to his next weapon. A student walked up to him, engaged him, and that student was shot.
Sheriff Ozzie Knezovich, Spokane County Sheriff, says the student who was killed tried to intervene when that student opened fire. Later, a janitor overwhelmed that student. A vote to repeal Cook County's sweetened beverage tax will have to wait at least a month. A group of county commissioners introduced a motion yesterday to get rid of the penny-an-ounce fee. A suburban commuter rail agency, Metra, considering a fare hike by up to 20% in cutting weekend service. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Chris Kennedy set to announce his new running mate later today. Illinois surrounded by the best cities for jobs. It's a job website Glassdoor yesterday releasing a list of the best cities for people looking for work. Well, Chicago barely made the top 25 list. They're ranked 23rd. Indianapolis is number 2. Kansas City, number 3. St. Louis, number 5. Even Milwaukee's number 21. Cubs smacked 16 hits in a 17-5 rout of the Mets at Wrigley. Jose Abreu, Avisail Garcia driving in runs in the top of the ninth. Nice win for the White Sox, 5-3 over the Royals. The news service of Jewel Osco. Shop Jewel Osco for juicy savings on large cantaloupe, only 99 cents each. 16-ounce packages of O Organics, 85% lean ground beef, just $3.99 while supplies last. And a gallon of Jewel brand milk is only $1.99. Limit 2. 5:33 is our time. We'll have a check on traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher gets a bad feeling about the North Korea situation.
My instincts generally serve me pretty well. I'm going to just tell you flat out. I have a very bad feeling about what Kim Jong-un is up to. And it's on him. But I have a bad feeling about this little chubby, weird dictator of North Korea.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy, buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
5:35. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. A full update on your morning commute with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And with that dense fog, visibilities are reduced. We have in some areas visibilities under a quarter mile this morning. We do allow safe time and following distance. There are no significant flight delays right now at O'Hare or at Midway, or very few. Right now, most arrivals and departures going as scheduled. Problems on the rails. Metra's Union Pacific North Line. Collision involving a pedestrian south of Highwood Station, so the train involved is stopped there. CTA has some delays on the red line. Outbound trains at 79, sick customer. Eden's cleared. Kennedy looking good too. The Eisenhower has delays inbound 25th Avenue to 17th. Outbound Austin to Harlem, 31 minutes either way between Thorndale and downtown. On Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Still heavy south of 355 after some earlier road work. Inbound Ryan. Got a jam from Pershing to be 431st, and the locals rollover crash. 2 left lanes are blocked. 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford the same. Traffic service of Uber. This time of year's tough, balancing free time with wanting to earn extra money. Get your side hustle on. And drive with Uber. Earn extra money on your time when it works for you. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now. Certain restrictions apply. See site for details. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
All of these reporting stations have visibility of a quarter mile or less because of the fog that Jim has just told you about. Aurora, Lansing, Waukegan, DuPage Airport this morning, Kankakee, Morris, Romeoville, all with fog, all with visibilities less than a quarter mile. But at O'Hare and Midway right now, not reporting any fog. 61 there right now, but we'll check on those visibilities as the morning goes along. Next news comes your way at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so what the left does is attack the things they are. Right? The things they are, they project onto conservatives. That's their little two-step. That's their little ruse. So one of the things that they obsess about in their discussion and their propaganda is hate. For example, Gonzaga University, the Jesuits, hosts its 4th International Conference on Hate Studies next month with keynote speakers, including the co-founder of the Southern Poverty Law Center, Joe Levin.
What are they having? A what week?
The 4th International Conference on Hate Studies. Southern Poverty Law Center. We've talked about this before. This is a front group that, for the left, that spends its time attacking conservatives and attacking Christians in particular.
People who have family values, right?
Under the auspices of cataloging those who hate, dangerous hate groups. And it turns out that a dangerous hate group is anybody who disagrees with the Southern Poverty Law Center or leftist orthodoxy. Don't believe me? Don't believe me. Listen to Carol Swain. Carol Swain is a friend of the show. She's been on here before. She's recently retired law professor at Vanderbilt University. She's African-American. She had a piece in the Wall Street Journal recently, what it's like to be smeared by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And she recounted it the other night for Tucker Carlson.
The Southern Poverty Law Center was calling you an apologist for white supremacy. What was your reaction to that?
Well, I was not surprised. I had criticized them first, and I was criticizing them because I saw that they were engaging in mission creep, that they had lost sight of their original purpose, and they had started going after conservatives. At the time, it was immigration restrictionists. So I wrote a blog, September 2009, and about 6 weeks later, my photograph was in my local paper on the front page with a headline that I was an apologist for white supremacy.
Right, and one of the criticisms that Professor Swain lodged was the Southern Poverty Law Center's unwillingness to address the new Black Panther Party after the 2008 elections, where members of that organization, decked out in full paramilitary regalia, were in front of polling places in Philadelphia trying to intimidate white voters. And so what Professor Swain is trying to do is apply a standard of civility and legality across the board, regardless of race. That's not the Southern Poverty Law Center's bag. And, she goes on to explain kind of why they have, to Tucker actually more or less explain why they have this standing in the eyes of the D.C. press corps. Number one, because obviously they're sympathetic to the position. Number two, the Southern Poverty Law Center sounds like they're for poor people and they're the civil rights organization. It's none of the above. What does it take to get branded a hater by SPLC?
They're a corrupt group that exists to raise a lot of money from mostly well-meaning but gullible donors. I get it. But what I'm shocked by is how many media organizations take them seriously, pretend that they're legitimate. Did you lodge a complaint with them?
Well, first of all, anyone that criticizes them publicly run the risk of being labeled as a hater or being placed on hate watch or being mentioned in one of their articles. And so to get branded by them, all you have to do is criticize them.
You actually don't even have to criticize them. That is all you have to do. But even if you don't criticize them, if you are for traditional marriage, if you are opposed to whatever the latest manifestation of the left intersectionality, cultural Marxism is, then you could be on Hate Watch.
Did they have Holly Hobby on Hate Watch? I can't remember.
Holly Hobby.
The store. Holly Hobby?
Hobby
A
Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
Holly Hobby's a doll. So I don't.
so
I don't know. I don't know what her position.
I had a Hobby Lobby.
I don't know what.
I
I don't
made
know.
Justin laugh. I'm sorry.
I don't know what her
Really.
position was on marriage redefinition.
I'm sure she
Holly
was.
Hobbies. I don't know. Maybe
She's
she
so
is.
homely looking, wasn't she? Holly Hobby.
Also, just
Hobby
so
Lobby.
there's no more confusion. Hate Watch. That's not the beach show with David Hasselhoff. This is the website that the Southern Poverty Law Center has.
Words are hard sometimes,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so
I mean,
Hobby Lobby. Yeah, sure. Of course, they're a hate
I mean,
group.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Christian. And this is the point that Bishop E.W. Jackson makes. Bishop Jackson, also an African American, as is Professor Swain. He has served our country in the Marine Corps. He is a Harvard law grad. And now he heads Exodus Faith Ministries in Virginia. And here's what he had to say about, since we're talking so much about white supremacy lately, boy, there's something that the white supremacists have in common with the left. I mean, obviously they're a product of the left. But listen to Bishop Jackson on the topic.
What is the similarity between the Ku Klux Klan and the left, and I'll include the LGBT community in this? What do they have in common? What does the KKK, what do the KKK and the leftist, including the LGBT community, have in common? Are you ready? Okay, here's what they have in common: a virulent hatred of true Christianity.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, Angel line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. Is that what unites the left and the actual hate groups like white supremacists? And I'm not. And when he says LGBT, he's not talking about every gay person.
No.
He's talking about the politicized leadership of these activist organizations, these hard left organizations that you see on display routinely because they force you to see them on display. And also, they force you not just to tolerate, but to celebrate their decisions. That's what's happening.
Can they ever be stopped? Southern Poverty Law Group, and stop with their hate list?
What do you mean, can they ever be stopped? Of course they can be stopped. They're an organization that exists, as Tucker Carlson said, on the donations of well-intended but ignorant folk. Of course they can be stopped. Anybody can be stopped. It's a decision for everybody to make to what kind of America they want to have. Do they want to have one like Bishop Jackson is talking about, where you have allied groups that are motivated by a virulent hatred of true Christianity, and true Christians are silent? Because that's a lot of what we have now. Bishop Jackson went on.
And it's not a hatred for me. I don't take this stuff personally. That's why it makes me laugh. I don't take it personally. What they really hate is God. They hate God, they hate the Bible, and they hate Christianity.
That's right. He's absolutely right. Because the actual God, the actual supreme being, they don't want, they're their own God. They don't need the competition. They don't want it. Bishop Jackson has it right. So next time you have this conversation with, Jameel Hill on the set of ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Or those, ignorantly spouting the same pablum as Jameel Hill about everybody I disagree with as a white supremacist, which is, again, basically the smearing of the left.
Oh, and everybody who voted for Trump is a racist and a white supremacist.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Jameel Hill.
All 60 million people.
Yeah.
The SPLC does a more refined version of the same thing Jameel Hill does, just smears people because they can't make an argument. So make the argument for them. Challenge people to consider that the white supremacists, people who hate, the purveyors of hate, what they really hate, I mean, some, Black Lives Matter, may hate white people, just as a matter of course. But what these groups, these cultural groups really hate, the intersectionalists, the cultural Marxists, they hate true Christianity, they hate God, they don't want the competition. Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
And that's the reason why abortion is their key issue. Because if abortion is unlimited, which essentially it is, then there's God. And once there's God, then as Prager has been just really railing and doing a fabulous job about, then they control everything. They control the language, the meaning, the culture, everything. And that's the reason why we got to fight like hell right now.
Thanks for the call, Greg. Well said. And I mean, here's the smoke screens they run at you. The latest edition of Superman.
Yeah.
Action Comics number 987, The Oz Effect, for you comic book guys out there in your parents' basements. Superman protects undocumented workers from armed white supremacists. Uh-huh.
Do you have a copy of it?
Superman blocks the bullets before they hit terrified people, arriving in the nick of time to protect a group of undocumented immigrants from a white man sporting an American flag bandana, wielding a machine gun, who's going to shoot them for taking his job. This is how the cultural war works. This is how the left works it. And frankly, the reason they are largely successful, even at slowly moving the culture, no, in some respects, quickly moving the culture in their direction, is because we're not paying attention. We talk about this with Andrew Klavan all the time. Conservatives don't have the kind of presence in the institutions that are the drivers of culture: academia, K through 12 education, the arts, media, despite what Hillary Clinton thinks, and Superman comics that your kids read. You may want to pay attention. In fact, the thing that is the last bulwark against the cultural onslaught, because so many people are afraid to be rolled by it, is our number one, the family, but number two, historic Judeo-Christian beliefs that have been passed on from generation to generation, but are, of course, atrophying under the onslaught. Chuck in Delavan, Wisconsin.
Hey, how you doing? I think that they should see, and maybe somebody should report on how fast they got their non-for-profit status so they could start receiving money.
Well, this is 45 years ago. They've been around since the early 70s.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I've never heard of them before. But, well, then maybe somebody should check in to see who's donating to them and who's a big funder.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Chuck. I mean, we don't want to do that either. I don't believe in disclosure of 501c3 donors. There's a reason that those donors are not disclosed, and this goes for the left and the right, so you got to play it straight, and that's so you don't have people intimidated from giving based on being targeting donors. But their work product is what should be the focus, the work product, and that should be the discussion point. Peggy on the north side.
Hello. I could take all this from the left, but what I can't take is Dick Durbin saying that that judge wasn't qualified because she was Catholic. That I can't take, and I don't know how to get Dick Durbin out, but I'll get him out.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Peggy.
Keep it clean, Peggy.
Dick Durbin. So Peggy for Senate in 2020. All right, Dick Durbin, you've been put on notice.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Americans have the right and advantage of being armed, unlike the citizens of other countries whose governments are afraid to trust the people with arms. James Madison, Federalist Papers. Our founders recognized that the common individual needs to be trusted, but with trust, there must be common sense and personal responsibility. This is especially true of handguns. If you've been thinking of making a purchase, visit the Range at 355. The Range at 355 is so much more than a state-of-the-art shooting range. It is a fully stocked showroom carrying a variety of firearms with brands like Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, HKs, and Glock. The Range at 355 offers Illinois concealed carry license training and a full curriculum of classes designed to teach you what you need to know to be a responsible gun owner and concealed carrier. Their professional team will train you like a pro. Founded by patriots like you, providing professional guidance and courteous instruction. Trust your skills to the pros at the Range at 355. For range hours and class info, visit range355.com. Range355.com.
Gentlemen, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know my numbers. Low T Center made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, is able to get my results in minutes. In honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. So, gentlemen, if you don't know your numbers, haven't made your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this limited time offer. I know at Low T Center they'll take great care of you. Plus, it's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. So do yourself a favor and call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. 312-239-3427 is the number. Or you can visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours. And when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business. And it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. It's our digital platform featuring long-form interviews. This week on our Against the Current series, Mace Jackson, Charles Thomas, the WVON morning team. We talk race and politics in Chicago and Illinois, a little bit nationally as well. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, dollars and 2-minute warnings and dollars and cents commentaries from Pat
Words
Hughes
are
at the
hard.
Illinois Opportunity Project. Take it easy, Hobby. As well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, which features professional women, not named Amy Jacobson.
Oh, that's so...
talking about the salient issues of the day, colleague to colleague.
I had a Holly Hobby Easy Bake Oven. That's how much. And I had Holly Hobby wallpaper.
Did you get it at Hobby Lobby?
Bingo.
You can find all of this content and Amy Jacobson's malapropisms at upstream-ideas.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179 or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
5:57. Let's check that morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the very latest for you. with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Throughout much of the Chicago area, the dense fog is a major issue. So allow plenty of safe time and following distance. The flight boards at O'Hare show just a few delays, mainly for arriving flights. Not many. For the most part, flights are moving as scheduled. We have delays on Metra's Union Pacific North Line after a pedestrian incident south of Highwood. Trains are on the move with significant delays. In fact, the CTA is honoring Metra tickets on the Purple Line, the Evanston and Wilmette stations, at Linden to Howard, and on the Red Line at Jarvis, Morse, and Howard, and on the Brown Line near Ravenswood at Damon. There are they're honoring Metra tickets there. Edens is clear. The Kennedy, 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 21. The Eisenhower, 39 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 32. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. A crash before 31st just cleared. Traffic, service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The 4,000 ASC certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Take advantage of the bonus savings day event. Get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whenever you drive a Firestone. That's traffic on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Dense fog advisory in effect for the morning. Patchy morning fog, otherwise partly sunny, high today 81. Clear night, low 62. Sunshine tomorrow, high 85. And a clear night tomorrow night, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
The news, a service of LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities, and you need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity, theft, protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com, promo code RISK for 10% off. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following at this hour. Watch for the heavy, dense fog this morning gumming up the works. The debate over the Cook County penny-an-ounce sweetened soft drink tax will continue for another month. Chicago's planned municipal IDs will now have multiple uses. The mayor announcing that they'll also function as a CTA fare card and a library card. Governor Bruce Rauner personally leading the sales pitch now to bring Amazon's new headquarters to the state. Cubs rout the Mets 17-5. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
No deal was made last night on DACA. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just tweeted that the morning after having dinner with House and Senate Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. DACA was the main course, but the wall may have left a bad taste. He also tweeted that wall will be built. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump says no deal, that more border security is needed, but Democrats say dreamers would be safe from deportation under an agreement they struck with President Trump. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi announced the deal after a dinner at the White House last night. They say it would enshrine protections for nearly 800,000 immigrants brought here illegally as kids who had benefited from President Obama's policy. But as you say, President Trump says no deal. Dave.
Rachel, next hour, the president will leave Washington to go to Florida, visiting Hurricane Irma-damaged areas. First stop, Fort Myers. Fox's Laura Blanchard is there.
The first couple, as well as the vice president, will be meeting with first responders, as well as those who have lost just about everything to Irma, both here and in Naples. This as power outage problems continue. On the southeast side of the state, police are now investigating the deaths of 8 elderly patients as a criminal case.
They died in a sweltering nursing home in Hollywood that had no AC. Emergency officials across the state are urged to check other nursing homes without power. 15 Marines are injured, some critically, in a burn center in San Diego after a training exercise went bad when their amphibious vehicle caught fire on a beach. He was said to be obsessed with school shootings and carried out one of his own. A Washington State student now in custody after killing a fellow student and injuring others at Freeman High in Rockford until a custodian stopped him. This classmate wasn't surprised, saying the gunman had passed notes around that he was going to do something stupid and maybe get killed or arrested.
That was like a couple weeks ago when school started.
This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
For 22 years, he served his country in the United States Marine Corps, including a tour of duty in Vietnam. He earned 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star, and a Silver Star. And this year, on Veterans Day, retired Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North is coming to Chicago for Freedom Summit 2017, November 11th at the Westin Chicago Northwest. See Oliver North, Dinesh D'Souza, Larry Elder, and many more. Get your tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%. APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to quickenloans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com. Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, Donald, Chuck, and Nancy had dinner last night. Who had the crow?
Well, they had Chinese food, and for dessert, they dined on chocolate pie.
And then they were hungry 30 minutes later.
That's always how it goes, huh? But they were in the Blue Room in the White House, and some deals were done, according to Pelosi and Schumer, who released a joint statement. They said they agreed to enshrine the protections of DACA into law quickly and to work out a package of border security, excluding the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The Bipartisan Dream Act would be part of the arrangement, a person briefed on the meeting said.
Oh, well,
Bipartisan.
President Trump tweeted, no deal was made last night on DACA. How about that? Massive border security would have to be agreed to in exchange for consent would be subject to vote. So,
does that exclude or include the U.S.-Mexico border wall?
Well, this is 140 characters. So there's what you got. The real issue is DACA fix versus Dream Act from scratch. And the implications are very different. They're being used interchangeably. Others have made this point, but it bears exploring. DACA and the Dream Act are different things, and the difference matters. The specific problem of the 700,000 to 800,000 people who applied in good faith for Obama's illegal program and whose work permits will start expiring after March 5th of next year is one group of individuals. And I'm sympathetic to their plight. They responded to an illegal act of the president, but, I mean, it's not through no fault of their own, essentially. It was President Obama's fault. And by the way, there's an excellent Bill McGurn column in the Wall Street Journal yesterday about just what a bad human being Obama is. You think that this is showing his humanity and compassion? Read McGurn's column. this shouldn't be news to anybody who's been paying attention. But, I know there's a personal popularity with Obama because people think he's glib and cool. And even if they disagree with his policies and they don't understand what a craven, pseudo-intellectual demagogue he is. McGurn's column distills that on the immigration topic. So that's one group of people, though, the 700, 800,000. It's very different from passing DREAM Act amnesty from scratch, which could cover up to 2 million people, according to the Migration Policy Institute's look at the Senate version offered by the Gang of Four. So DACA fix, DREAM Act. There's a difference. And those distinctions have huge policy implications. So let's just understand what we're talking about before we oppose or sign on to anything. The DACA fix seems to me a legitimate matter to address. DREAM Act amnesty is a whole different kettle of fish. But are you on board for the DACA fix? Again, the 800,000 people that got work permits. Yes, it was an illegal act by the President of the United States, Obama, which he conceded was illegal by saying it was temporary. Right? He's the one who said it was temporary, not Trump. He's the one who said it would require a permanent fix because he knew what he was doing was an overreach. So Trump is getting tagged for Obama's illegal act unfairly.
But now what's he going to do with it?
Well, right. These are human beings. And they were incentivized to apply for these work permits to come here for a better life. So assuming, all of the caveats, right, that they have not committed any crimes and so forth, what the DACA fix looks like is still a point of contention. How many misdemeanors can you be convicted of, for example? But is it appropriate to figure a DACA fix even if you oppose the DREAM Act? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Why aren't any Republicans at the table? I mean, Chuck and Nancy are riding shotgun right now with President Trump, with Paul and Mitch in the back seat. Why aren't they part of the conversation?
Well, they are part of the conversation. I mean,
last night they weren't.
Well, okay. I mean, do they all need to be together at all times? But Paul Ryan has issued statements on the topic. He issued another statement through a spokesperson yesterday, essentially suggesting that border security is going to be a necessary part of any deal that's struck. So, yeah, is Trump doing a little bit of showboating? His two new buddies, Pagliacci and Scared Raccoon Face, to get like bipartisan street cred? Yeah.
Well, it's not sitting well with certain conservative Republicans. Steve King from Iowa tweeting out, if the AP is correct, Trump's base is blown up, destroyed, irreparable, and disillusioned beyond repair. No promise is credible.
Yeah, well,
because
Steve King is a little overheated on the topic, generally and specifically with that response. And there's no deal been done according to the president. So, I guess we'll have to see how it plays out.
Right, but normally in a deal, when you make a deal, because he's a master deal maker, which I like about him,
I don't
you
know
get
about
something.
that.
You get something back. You get something in return. What is he getting in return? I mean, I know we don't know yet because there's only 140 characters on Twitter, but
yeah, I mean, he's laying out the framework for the deal.
Okay.
And we'll see if he abides his own framework. Nancy Pelosi tweeted out yesterday, or she said yesterday, and then it became fodder for the Twitterverse, that illegal alien dreamers are patriots. And she said the following: it's an honor to be here with dreamers, the dreamers who are perpetuating, advancing the American dream with their courage and their optimism and their inspiration. They make America more American. A week and a half ago, I was in Chicago, and I saw this art exhibit that I was invited to see. It's called And Then They Came for Me, and it's about the internment of Japanese-American patriots in our country who were interned in camps during World War II while their family members were fighting for freedom for America and for the world in World War II. This is something we owe these dreamers for their patriotism, their courage, their optimism to come forward, but it's about America, too. This is a fight for who we are as a country, too. They are a manifestation of that fight right now, but we cannot let them come for them. So there's a point of order here.
There's a lot of difference.
The Japanese Americans who were interned by one of her political icons, FDR, one of the left's political icons.
Mostly in her state of California.
They were interned, yes, and that was another black mark on the history of America. They were Japanese Americans.
They were Americans, which makes it
They're American citizens.
all that more difficult. Right, they're American citizens. She left that part out.
Right. This is why it's very difficult, as I've said before, to have an honest conversation about immigration reform that occurs at room temperature, because you have ignorant demagogues like Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she's just dumb, okay? She's dumb. But she's in a position of incredible authority.
Right.
And so when you and the leftists around her are going to feed her the lines that they want to, create the market position they're looking for in terms of kind of race hustling this issue and solidarity and marginality, the solidarity and marginality play for the left, which is their whole thing. That's their whole play. But it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be called out. And people shouldn't be pushed on this when the left tries to mau you on this topic. You are comparing Japanese American citizens who were forcibly interned during World War II by a leftist president who's otherwise celebrated, particularly by the left, to people who voluntarily came here and were given a work permit to be here and live and work like Americans. That's the same thing? Come on. Speaking of the ignorant and the demagogue, our own El Gallito at it again.
Oh, wait, does that mean we have to play the song? El Gallito. This is how we do it down in Puerto Rico.
No, it doesn't, actually. I mean, we have to play the song. El Gallito, who you'll remember, said General Kelly, Gold Star father, General John Kelly, was a disgrace to the uniform he used to wear because of his ostensible support for the statement that was issued by Jeff Sessions on the DACA program, bringing it to an end, allowing it to be orderly wound down.
Has anybody confronted El Gallito yet?
Chicago press corps silent, as far as I've heard. No, El Gallito hasn't been questioned about it. Every Democrat hasn't been questioned about it. That should be, which is every Democrat. That would be the Republican standard. The Chicago press corps, the Springfield press corps would apply in the state. Well, he
should issue an apology.
Who's that?
El Gallito should apologize.
Oh, well,
especially since DACA's not going away. But okay, go on.
Here's his apology. He
said something.
Yeah, he said that General Kelly is mean for not standing up to President Trump, and
General Kelly stands up to President Trump every day.
He also said that General Kelly, 4-star retired Marine general, is a politician. Okay, not a general. He's a politician.
Did El Gallito ever serve? Did El Gallito's family ever serve?
I don't see a uniform. He's a politician who works for Donald Trump, a politician who didn't stand up when the President of the United States attacked a real war hero, John McCain. Oh, so that's
a
real war hero. I would like to ask. So El Gallito is General Kelly's son, who died in service to our country in Afghanistan. Is he a real war hero? General Kelly, a 4-star general who served our country honorably, he's not to be respected. His service is not to be respected. That's what's implied when you say John McCain, a real war hero, rather than John McCain, a war hero. He's making a comparison to Kelly. That's what he's doing. What could be more mean and vicious than to say you've got 6 months to pack up and leave the United States? El Gallito rhetorically asked of Kelly. Oh, there you go. There's your Latino congressman from Illinois, Luis Gutierrez. Anybody going to ask any questions about that? And by the way, don't just lay back and wait for the Chicago Press Corps to do it.
What about the D.C. press corps? I'm sure they're aware of this, right?
Well, this is the Washington Post reporting. I mean, just stick a microphone in El Gaito's face and he'll hold court.
There's reporters crawling all over Capitol Hill every day.
How about being your own reporter? How about calling your Democrat state rep, state senator, member of Congress, and asking them to comment?
I have his cell phone number. Luis's.
Go ahead, put it out. You're an American citizen. You're a taxpayer. You can petition your duly elected temporary representatives to give you comment on the topic. Don't just wait for somebody else to pick up the baton. It's incredible to me, the total lack of accountability, as well as the ever-shifting standards for what we're hearing from El Gaito. And you think you can, you think you allow people to tear down these institutions, the military being another one, and there's no implication? There's no effect? Okay. Mike on the north side. Mike on the north side.
Mike.
Wake up.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. These dreamers deserve nothing. No sympathy, nothing. Deport them. Their parents brought them over here illegally. We've been paying the freight for them, paying for their education. Are they going to pay that back? No. So I have to pay higher taxes, and the Chicago public school students get a little chipped away each year from what they get in classroom instruction for these people. I mean, poor Amy's kids, they lost their medieval French classes, their polo ponies, and their lacrosse team. When is it going to stop? How much more do we have to give these people?
Yeah.
Dan, if I come to where you work and steal your car and give it to my 16-year-old daughter, well, she gets to keep it. It's the only car she's ever had. She's fallen in love with it. It would be mean and cruel to make her take the bus now. I'm sick and tired of criminals in Chicago being the victims, and everybody else has to pay more taxes for them.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Phil in Schaumburg.
Amy, have some courage. Put the phone number out there.
I'm not.
You got it. Put it. Yeah, because you have no courage, Amy. That's why you shouldn't be there.
No, because I respect people's privacy, and I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. We're kind of related to him.
What?
Well, he's from San Sebastian. It's a very small village in Puerto Rico, and that's where Jose is from. My kid's grandpa. They grew up together. The Gutierrezes and the Anglaras. So I'm not putting his cell phone number up.
Yeah. He's not,
I'll call him and try to get him on the show.
It's not a private.
I've tried before.
It's not privacy. He's a public figure. And
his office number's public. I mean,
yeah, and we pay for.
I pay for his cell phone.
We pay for salary. We probably pay for that cell phone. We probably do.
Okay, you're fine. Want me to give it to you?
Sure. Yeah. I'll call him enough for all of you out there. How's that? Until he blocks my number.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your pen and paper out. 312. Forecast for today, partly sunny. After we get through this patchy morning fog and spots, then becoming warm, a high of 81 degrees. And it keeps getting better Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to have highs in the mid to upper 80s with plenty of sunshine. Now let's go into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Talamonte. I've got your number, but I won't give it out.
Okay, well, thank you, Amy. Much appreciated. Good morning. Morning, Dan. Got a lot of fog out there, especially in the outlying areas. Visibilities in some places are down to 1/8 of a mile or less. Delays on Metra's Union Pacific North Line after a pedestrian incident south of Highwood Station. Trains are moving. Pretty heavy delays. Edens, 22 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. The Eisenhower, 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 35. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 35 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 32 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 421. On the northbound Tri-State, it's heavy from the Stevenson to 47th. Eastbound Adams Tollway jam from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. The other tollways are all right. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Have you ever considered opening your own business? Have you ever wondered whether you had what it takes to be an entrepreneur? If you have the ambition and a sense of humor, you should pick up a copy of Who Wants to Be a Business Heir. Unlike many of the how-to books about opening a new business, Who Wants to Be a Business Heir is about what it feels like to be in business. It's about what aspiring entrepreneurs can expect to face in their new business and the issues that they need to consider. Written by attorney Scott Annis, with more than 25 years of experience in assisting small businesses, Who Wants to Be a Business Heir offers some old-fashioned homespun advice, often told with clever and amusing anecdotes. It might make you laugh, it could make you cry, and it'll definitely make you think. If starting a new business has been on your mind, pick up a copy of Who Wants to Be a Business Heir. That's spelled BUSINESSAIRE. It's available on Amazon or at thatbizlawyer.com. Pick up a copy of attorney Scott Annis's book, Who Wants to Be a Business Heir, today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much, because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Are you behind in your mortgage, facing foreclosure, being given the runaround on a loan modification application by some bank or servicer? Well, you're not alone, but I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've put together a team to help distressed homeowners like you. Give us a call. We give everyone who's eligible a free consultation. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
This is a democracy, and we will make democracy work.
El Gallito. This is how we do it in the Hillies 4th District. Just another Democrat unrealistic. I want to hear you scream impeach 45. El Gallito.
Still a little pitchy. That's Justin Kosick, our technical director.
Yeah, not to be confused with Justin Timberlake, that's for sure. David in Lake Forest, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning. It makes my blood boil listening to what El Gallito has said about General Kelly the last few days. And his latest comments on comparing Kelly to McCain and calling him not a war hero. This guy doesn't know a thing. General Kelly was a colonel during the invasion of Iraq in 2003 and won a battlefield commission from colonel to brigadier general, which is almost unheard of. And for him to call him a politician, Colin Powell was a politician. General Kelly is a troop general, and it's just absolutely despicable, and it shows what an absolute moron Luis Gutierrez is.
Yeah, thanks for the call, David. Well said. General Kelly responded, of course, saying that empty barrels make the most noise.
Yeah, that was
the typical restrained,
beautiful,
incisive response you expect from a 4-star Marine general. It reminds me of this exchange, even though it wasn't face to face, because El Gallito would have the floor mopped with him.
Oh yeah.
It reminded me of the Hank Johnson, Admiral Willard, exchange over Guam capsizing, where Hank Johnson went on this 3-minute lead up to the concern he has that if more Marines are deployed on the island of Guam, the island could literally capsize.
And he went on to go like the width of the island is 7 miles long, 12 miles wide.
Right, and to which Admiral Willard, after that inane question and 3 minutes of inanity leading up to it, he just said, we don't anticipate that. The restraint of the military, you got to appreciate it. Casper in West Chicago, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Hi.
I like the personalization of Amy about the song of Despacito. I would like to hear that in Spanish. Sorry,
yeah.
But about
I'm working
about
on it.
Working on Daddy Yankee. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, I really amazing how a smart person like you can really make this program a little bit more balanced about the issues. For example, the last caller that you received about the schools, the trash schools, and the taxes that he's paying for the schools because the illegals are making everything bad for Americans. You could just ask this question: if all the illegals are running out of the schools, do you think the school will be more cheaper in Chicago and the corruption will disappear? No. The illegals are not the problem, and you know it. But everybody is taking these people like taking punching bags, and they don't really want to fix anything. Just blame something.
All right.
It's really amazing how ignorant is the people, and it's the same for this lie about these people stealing jobs.
Yeah, Casper, we got to go. Casper, I'm sorry, we got to go. But thanks for the call and taking your call. Provided balance, in addition to what you heard me say about my position on DACA, specifically in the importance of distinguishing between DACA and a DREAM Act from scratch, at least in some of the incarnations that are bouncing around the Hill. And so I think we did actually cover that issue fairly well.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Can the Heterodox Academy save higher ed? We'll ask American Enterprise Institute's President Arthur Brooks at 6:36.
And so you say I've got a chance? Former Governor Rod Blagojevich thinks President Trump may commute his sentence. And is he jealous of former President Obama? But first, and does Dan care? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
63 degrees, heavy and dense fog this morning. Democrats in Congress say they struck a deal with the president on DACA. However, President Donald Trump tweeting this morning that no deal has been reached on the DACA program in spite of the words of Senator Chuck Schumer and House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi last night. And in fact, the White House went so far as to have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the White House press secretary, defend the president's bipartisan outreach program.
We've got a very ambitious legislative agenda for this fall, and the president wants to work with anybody that wants to move America forward.
Lights and air conditioning are coming back on in Florida. State emergency officials say the number of utility customers without power is down to about 3 million. Authorities in Washington say the student who was killed in a school shooting died while confronting the shooter. Spokane County Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich says the shooter came to Freeman High yesterday with several weapons.
He then fired more rounds down the hallway, striking 3 more students. And those students are in the hospital right now.
A student confronted the shooter and then was killed. The shooter this morning is in custody. Tesla this morning says they're rolling out a heavy-duty electric truck. Founder Elon Musk tweeting yesterday he'll reveal the battery-powered semi near L.A. next month. A vote to repeal the Cook County sweetened beverage tax will have to wait at least a month. A group of county commissioners introduced that motion yesterday to rid the county of the penny-an-ounce fee. It will go before the county's finance committee for an October 10 hearing. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Chris Kennedy set to announce a new running mate today. Chicago Tribune says it's Ra Joy, a government reform activist. JPMorgan Chase says they're planning to invest about $40 million in Chicago's struggling south and west sides. And the state of Illinois is in the market this morning for a new poet laureate. Bradley University professor Kevin Stein announced this week he's stepping down as the state's top poet. He served as poet laureate of Illinois since 2003. By the way, Stein is the first poet laureate in the state who did not get a lifetime appointment. Cubs over the Mets 17-5. White Sox over the Royals 5-3. The news a service of Accountemps. In today's economy, highly skilled accounting and finance pros can be hard to find. As the leader in specialized temporary staffing, Accountemps provides top accounting and finance talent where and when you need it most. Visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is on board with the president's ending of DACA.
President has done what is utterly constitutional and said, let Congress renew or modify DACA. I am not for deporting these people, and I am for ending DACA. So you have to figure out what to do there. I am for having Congress represent the will of the American people with regard to immigration.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Home isn't just a place, it's the feeling of knowing you're safe. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Learn more at ADT.com.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
It is 6:36, and let's get an update on your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Mike, Metra has significant delays on the Union Pacific North Line after an earlier pedestrian incident south of Highwood Station. Eden's inbound heavy Church to Montrose, 30 minutes. Lake Cookwood Junction, outbound 21. Kennedy, 45 minutes already. O'Hare to downtown, 15 from Montrose, 13 on the Express. Outbound 47 to the airport. Got a crash at Lawrence in the 2 left lanes. Eisenhower, 52 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 35. Stevenson now 55 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. On Tri-State slow. Harlem to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. The Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Traffic, the service of LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities. You need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity theft protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK for 10% off. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy morning fog. Some spots will see visibility below a quarter mile. Becoming warm with partly sunny skies later in the day. A high of 81. Clear and 62 overnight. Currently 63. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Indulge in the specialties of over 20 restaurants at Gourmet on the Green, a fun family event on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Village Greens of Woodridge. Enjoy food, spirits, and gift card raffles. Tickets on sale now at chamber630.com.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, on the eve of the fourth annual hate conference at Gonzaga University, it seems like an appropriate time to talk about higher education. And a person well-suited to do that is the American Enterprise Institute president, Arthur Brooks, who has a piece in the New York Times this morning about, in particular, something that we have talked about before, the Heterodox Academy. The effort to reform or at least stake out some positions of true academic freedom in colleges and universities around the country, led in part by, frankly, liberals like Jonathan Haidt, he of Yale. And the question, I guess, is can what Jonathan Haidt and other academics are doing kind of across the philosophical divide to protect some colleges and universities as true open marketplaces of ideas, is it possible to succeed, or is higher ed too far gone at too great a cost, oh, by the way? We put that now to Arthur Brooks, who is, again, president of the American Enterprise Institute, author of the best-selling book, The Conservative Heart. Arthur, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks. How you guys doing this morning? How's Chicago?
It's not bad. I mean, everybody's leaving, the ones who aren't dying, but other than that, it's going pretty well.
That's perfect. I just heard your traffic report. So if they're all trying to leave Chicago, it's going to take them a long time to get out.
Well, yeah. Well, our infrastructure is crumbling too, so we got that going for us. So here's the thing. The effort by, as I mentioned, Jonathan Haidt, the effort by people like Jordan Peterson and the group he's putting together to essentially change the face of higher education and restore something with something resembling intellectual integrity and academic freedom. How optimistic should we be about the prospects of these initiatives?
Well, it sort of depends what part of academia you're looking at. Where did you guys go to college? Where did Dan and Amy go to college?
I went to excuse me. I'll go first. I went to the Harvard of the Midwest, University of Iowa.
How about you, Dan?
Well, first of all, thank you for not laughing at what Amy just said. We appreciate it.
Well, hey, are you kidding? That looks like, Oxford and Harvard put together.
It's an academic juggernaut. I mean, really.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
He went to a lesser school. Tell him.
I went to Northwestern, but I'm not proud of it, and I don't recommend people go.
It's a great school. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
Northwestern's fantastic. And by the way, so is the University of Iowa and all sorts of different places. So the problem with higher ed today is not uniform across all universities. There are a lot of state universities where you get a really good education. It's still pretty affordable, and it's sensible, where they're not putting up with all sorts of nonsense. University of Missouri, their problems last year and the year before, that was pretty unusual, especially for the Midwest. And that's one of the reasons, by the way, that their matriculation for the freshman class is down 35%. They're laying off 150 people and closing 7 dorms. In the Midwest, when you do nonsense like that, where you basically say that everything is based in racism and this place is horrible, and you shut down alternative voices, parents say, hey, my kids aren't going there, and they pay the market price. So right there should actually give some solace and comfort to some of our listeners who say that the whole thing is nonsense and lies and prevarication. It's only really kind of a small part of academia that's gone berserk.
Well, I mean, here, I don't know. I mean, we just in raw numbers, I don't know, the 3,000 odd institutions of alleged higher learning, we've probably covered stories of absurdity and berserkity. Is
that a word?
No, it is now. I went to Northwestern. I can make up whatever words I want.
That's right. Okay.
At least, I don't know, a sixth of them. And Heterodox Academy, which you cite in your piece, suggests that their research shows professors' ratio left to right 20 years ago was 2 to 1. Now it's 5 to 1.
Yeah, that's right. So there has been certainly a movement to the left. And it can't, again, the key thing to keep in mind is, look, all of us have friends who are smart and nice, who are on the political left, and we don't even mind if they're teachers for our kids. The problem is when universities, especially at the really elite level, are more about actually trying to promote liberal values than they are about trying to promote knowledge. And they're more about trying to make social justice warriors than they are about really well-educated kids. That's what we should worry about. And, what I talk about in my piece is we have a tendency on the political right to focus on just the sort of crazy town cases, the stuff that happened at Mizzou, the stuff that happened at Middlebury College, where my colleague, Charles Murray, who works at the American Enterprise Institute, shouted down, it's ironic, they're shouting profanities at him during his own speech, holding signs that say, hate has no place here. I mean,
and didn't they assault him too?
No, they assaulted a professor.
And his faculty sponsor, who, by the way, was a liberal political science professor, wound up being assaulted by Antifa folks and sent to the hospital. And actually was hurt pretty seriously. And, that's the cases that we tend to focus on. But the real problem, as I see it in academia today, is that, when you look at these ratios, they're going 10 to 1 liberal to conservative, 20 to 1. That creates an isolating environment for people who think in a different way. And it reminds me, if you look back in the 40s and 50s, it was really, really hard for minorities, for Jews, for women to be successful in the academy because they didn't want too many of them. They wanted them just in a small minority, and there were no leadership positions for them. And it made, quite frankly, universities kind of lame in America. Universities got better when they became more diverse, and right now they have a big, big diversity problem in diversity of thought.
So what, Ben Shapiro, we've had him on the show several times, used to work for Salem. He's heading to Berkeley today, and they're having extra protection and security for Ben Shapiro. I mean,
Heather McDonald, anybody at center right at Berkeley.
Yeah, well, they can't tell the difference. It's one of these deals where if you're so far left that you can't tell the difference between Ben Shapiro and Milo Yiannopoulos, then it just means that you're in sort of crazy land. And by the way, there are people who are so far right that they can't tell the difference between, Mitch McConnell and Bernie Sanders. I mean, I hear that kind of stuff all the time. And so, and Berkeley has had a lot of problems with that. Here's the good news. They actually have a new chancellor at Berkeley who is trying to fix that, or at least is interested in trying to make the place a little bit more balanced. And whether she's a liberal or conservative is sort of beside the point. She has devoted herself to actually making it safe for people with alternative viewpoints to speak on the Berkeley campus. She's got a big job on her hands, but let's at least kind of applaud her for that.
Yeah.
Universities are figuring out it's bad for them to have these problems.
Well, Oberlin College also in the news this week about their budget shortfall because that hotbed of lunacy is driving students away. And these small liberal arts schools with huge price points, man, they don't have a huge margin. I mean, they lose 500 students in a particular class. That's a big hit to their bottom line. So maybe that will happen in spots. But the flip side is the viewpoint of Amy Wax, for example, the University of Pennsylvania law professor. She says basically the Ivy League is unreformable. It should be defunded. It's got too much power and too much influence and is too kind of inside its own bubble, too isolated from accountability to be salvaged. Do you agree with that?
You know, I don't know if I agree with that, but I do know that what you said before is absolutely right, which is that markets are going to catch up with places that are not doing a good job. One of the beautiful things about the market system, it's not perfect, but one of the things that we know is that ultimately you have to balance out when you start paying the price. You know, with the University of Missouri and Middlebury College and Evergreen State College and places like that are taking a huge hit to their matriculation, they're going to say, uh-oh, I guess we got to figure this out, and other places will get that signal as well. I feel bad. Look, I mean, I'm an academic myself. I taught in the academy for a long time before I came to AEI, and it's very, very isolating to be a conservative in academia, and it's getting worse right now because it's becoming actually dangerous to be a conservative in academia. But I think that if we keep our heads clear, if we don't pretend that every single situation is one of complete radicalism, it's really one of isolation and lack of diversity, then we can, particularly because, you know, look, if I'm look, Dan and Amy, famous radio hosts.
Oh, yeah.
It matters what you guys say, and you know, when you actually talk about this, University of Iowa and Northwestern University are going to pay attention. And a lot of your listeners, by the way, they have a choice of funding their alma mater or not. Tie that to viewpoint diversity, and you'll start to get results.
Absolutely. Now, by the way, to be fair, to inform our audience, one of the reasons I believe you were so isolated during your time in the academy was because you were playing your French horn at all hours on campus.
That's because, you know what? I actually stopped playing the French horn by that point. But you might be right. You might be onto something that is just kind of, it's all about me.
Yeah,
I played the French horn too. Hey, so when you were, I did. When you were on faculty at Syracuse University, did any of your students push back because you were conservative?
You know, my students didn't. Students are actually pretty sensible. And, you know, I only taught graduate students at Syracuse, and they were, you know, probably 90% left, but they don't care. They didn't care very much. But, you know, the isolating thing is that you're just, it's not even that your faculty colleagues hate you. It's just they think you're kind of an oddball because you've got these weird views. There's nothing weird about being center-right. On the contrary, it's the most mainstream position in America. The trouble is that when you get into a 90-10, 95-5, sort of viewpoint undiversity thing, it starts to look sort of ghettoized when you don't have these monolithically really, really left-wing views. And that's what we need to fix. So if I'm a university chancellor at this point, even if I'm a liberal, what I want, so if I'm the chancellor of Northwestern, I'm going to start looking really aggressively for center-right people to start balancing out my faculty. That's just a better education for the kids.
So I know you're an optimist by nature, and I'm more of the glass is twice as big as it needs to be kind of guy. And so Jonathan Haidt makes the point, forget even academia. By the time that a lot of these kids get to college, it's already too late, because he talks about child rearing in this country in this present day. And he wrote in a provocative, or part of a provocative interview he gave to Wall Street Journal, by the time students get to college, they have much, much less experience with unpleasant social encounters or even being insulted, excluded, or marginalized. They expect there will be some adults, some authority to rectify things. And this feeds this sense of entitlement and their intolerance for opposing viewpoints.
Yeah, that's true, and that's a different problem than what we see in college. That's a problem with the way millennials are being brought up by their parents. And by the way, if you want to see right-wing snowflakes, go on Twitter. It's the same problem. Millennials who are left-wing, right-wing, they can't take any criticism. They can't take anybody going against a particular viewpoint. Now, we think about that as, you know, being a liberal problem, but it's really a generational problem that we have right now. We need to expose our kids to more pathogens, quite frankly. I mean, it's kind of it's like an ideological peanut allergy that we've got in this country. Where, you know, when like Dan and Amy and Arthur were kids, nobody was allergic to peanuts. What are you talking about? And the point is that we have, and those things are real, by the way. If you have a peanut allergy, it's dangerous. The reason those things are going around is because people have been protecting their kids so much when they're little. And the same thing is true now. Like, you can't tell a kid that he's getting a B-, even if he's getting a B-, or it becomes sort of, you know, a major offense to this whole thing. We need tougher people. And by the way, this is a big threat to America. If we don't have the next generation coming through that has mental toughness, how are we going to fight wars that we need to fight? How are we going to cut budgets that we need to cut? How are we actually going to stand up to thugs and strongmen around the world? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Arthur Brooks, president of the American Enterprise Institute, a best-selling author of the book The Conservative Heart. And you'll want to check out the piece he's got in the New York Times this morning on the topic we've just been discussing. Arthur Brooks, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan and Amy. Love your show.
Thank you.
We love you, and he joined us on our turkey.
That's a nice moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
it's a nice moment.
Love, we're full of love here. And he joined us on our lovely turnkey .pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The federal budget deficit up almost 9% from a year ago. Equifax facing fallout from its security breach. Boeing stepping up production. Those stories next.
Hello, beautiful. I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. One of the things I value most in life is time. Time to spend with my daughter, time to spend with family, and the time I put into my company that's reinventing the way women color their hair. The busiest, most successful women I know use Madison Reed, the amazing hair color hack. In under an hour and for less than $25, Madison Reed delivers gorgeous, shiny, multi-dimensional, healthy-looking hair with an ammonia-free formula. You'll look like you just came from a salon, but the reality is you have more me time to do what you love. Things get busy. Let us take care of you and your hair. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code EXCELLENT. That's code EXCELLENT. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
The Treasury Department reporting the August federal budget deficit just under $108 billion. With only 1 month left in the budget year, the deficit is 9% higher than the same period last year. The shares of credit bureau Equifax hit again yesterday. Fallout continues from the revelation last week that sensitive personal data of 143 million Americans was compromised in a cyber attack. Equifax faces criticism from consumers, state governments, and Congress. Hearings have been set. Economic reports ahead today, the new Consumer Price Index, and jobless claims. Boeing says it will raise production of its 787 Dreamliner passenger jetliners to 14 a month. That begins in 2019. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that enhances what we do each morning on this show, long-form interviews with policymakers and opinion leaders like an Arthur Brooks. This week, still featuring Charles Thomas and Maze Jackson, WVON's morning team. 60 Seconds to Sanity commentaries by yours truly. Dollars and Cents reviews by Pat Hughes of the Illinois Opportunity Project. Podcast of Illinois Rising program, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves, covers state policy and politics. Our Heart of the Matter series featuring professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient policy issues of the day. And Follow the Logic, Man in the Street segments this week, still featuring Illinoisans trying to follow Governor Rauner's logic in signing sanctuary state legislation. You can get it all if you visit and sign up at upstream-ideas.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com. Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of Balance of Nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
When was the last time you thought about the HVAC system that works 24/7 to keep you comfortable and in business? One of the most important, yet overlooked aspects of life in the 21st century is reliable climate control for both people and product. It's one of the many things we take for granted. We'll be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Then there's a failure or utility bill that's sky high. Avoid unpleasant surprises with your indoor comfort. For repairs and preventative maintenance on your commercial and industrial HVAC systems, call EHMS Mechanical Services. The equipment that maintains the environment you work in and supports the products you make is so important. When it fails, you'll need EHMS Mechanical Services, one of the fastest response commercial HVAC companies in Chicagoland. Help lower the overall cost of your HVAC equipment with comprehensive maintenance programs, energy-reducing retrofits, and rapid response service from EHMS Mechanical Services. Call 847-801-1000 or lovemyhvac.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So Mike Scott reported that there's a vacancy for Illinois Poet Laureate. I don't have the time. I do it, but I don't have the time.
We're counting on you, Dan.
I could be the Poet Laureate.
You could be.
But I'm going to nominate somebody, and you should get your nominations in early. So here's my nomination. We'll take your nominations for Illinois Poet Laureate all morning. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. Don't say Mayor Daley. No, don't say it.
No, Mayor Emanuel.
No. Leaping Lanny Poffo from Downers Grove, who's already been a Poet Laureate. He was the Poet Laureate of the World Wrestling Federation.
Oh, okay.
Leaping Lanny Poffo, my nominee for Poet Laureate of Illinois. And... yeah, I think he's the leader in the clubhouse.
All right, coming up next on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk tax reform. Also ask Governor Norquist if he's got any recommendations for Poet Laureate at 7:07.
And the Blagojeviches still hold out hope that President Trump will commute the sentence. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following this morning. Protesters demanding answers in the hotel freezer death case. 3 armed robbery suspects captured in Lincolnshire. Cubs rout the Mets. White Sox slip past the Royals. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
They do agree they had dinner. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The morning after House and Senate Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer say they left the White House with a deal on DACA and border security without funding the wall. President Trump says nope on Twitter. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, this is a he said, they said situation after Democrats announced an agreement protecting Dreamers from deportation in exchange for border wall enhancements. President Trump tweeted there's no deal. He says massive border security would have to be agreed to in exchange for consent. At the same time, the president is also tweeting that nobody really wants to throw out good, educated, and accomplished young people who have jobs, some serving in the military. The president did dine with Democrats at the White House last night, days after he announced he was ending the Obama-era DACA program. Dave.
Rachel, in his last of 5 tweets this morning, the president wrote he's headed to Florida, about to leave, calling Hurricane Irma a real disaster, much work to do. He'll see first responders and thank the Coast Guard and FEMA. Millions remain out of power in Florida, where yesterday 8 nursing home residents died in Hollywood in sweltering conditions without air conditioning. There's now a criminal investigation.
Now the question is to prevent this from happening in other nursing homes.
some of which are out in rural areas.
Democratic Senator Bill Nelson, 122 residents were evacuated from 2 facilities in Orlando.
Power companies from all over the U.S. and even Canada sending thousands of workers to restore electricity after the storm knocked out the power for more than half the state. While some communities have had the lights turned back on, some could still be powerless for another week.
Fox's Laura Blanchard in Fort Myers, where the president will first visit before going to hard-hit Naples. A Missouri lawmaker has been censured by the state Senate that's led by Republicans. This for a Facebook post that Senator Maria Chappelle-Nadell had wrote that she hoped President Trump would be assassinated. Fox News, fair and balanced.
63 degrees, skies are cloudy, and there is heavy, dense fog this morning across the area. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The debate over Cook County's penny and ounce sweetened soft drink tax will apparently continue for another month. AM 560's David Stewart explains why.
The Cook County Board didn't vote on repealing the pop tax Wednesday, but did hear more than 2 hours of public testimony. Orland Park Mayor Keith Pekow told Commissioner Richard Boykin that the health benefits of reduced pop consumption won't reach everyone.
And as we know, there are certain people that are exempt from this tax.
SNAP recipients.
For example, yes. We're trying to say that vitamin water is not healthy. So who is the government to determine what is healthy and what is not healthy?
Several grocery store owners report that beverage sales are off as much as 40%. The repeal was sent to committee, could see a vote next month. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Protesters want more answers about a Chicago woman found dead last weekend in a hotel freezer in Rosemont.
We ain't gonna stop until we find out what happened to my sister. The truth.
Dozens of demonstrators gathered outside of the Crowne Plaza Hotel. Authorities say they're planning to show internal surveillance video to the victim's mother later today. Suburban commuter rail agency Metra is considering major fare hikes by up to 20% and cutting weekend service. Charges are pending following an armed robbery in Buffalo Grove. 3 arrived in a U-Haul truck, began stealing property from a business. Police later spotted that truck in Lincolnshire, began chasing. The truck then crashed into 3 other vehicles. The 3 suspects ran off. They were eventually detained following a manhunt. Cubs smacked 16 hits. The 17-5 rout of the Mets at Wrigley. Jose Abreu, Avisail Garcia driving in runs in the top of the 9th, giving the White Sox a 5-3 win over the Royals. Preps for the BMW at Conway Farms continued today. The news service of Sprint. You know what's better than getting a new smartphone? Getting a great deal on the best-selling Motorola from Sprint. Visit your local Sprint store, sprint.com/free phones, or call 800-SPRINT-1 today to learn more. Sprint works for me. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.61%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to quickenloans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
What do you call charging thousands of dollars for hearing aids? I call it outrageous, because hearing should not be a privilege for the rich. It's a basic right everyone deserves. Hi, I'm Dr. Chirakuri, board-certified ear, nose, and throat physician. If you or a loved one suffer from hearing loss but can't afford thousands for a hearing aid, I created MD Hearing Aid for you, a high-quality medical-grade hearing aid for a fraction of that price.
Try MD Hearing Aid at home, risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868.
No costly doctor's visit. No expensive and time-consuming fittings or appointments. No ugly, old-fashioned hearing aid that costs thousands. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered, audiologist-tested hearing aid that's discreet and lets you hear what you've been missing at a savings of more than 80% off the average price of a traditional hearing aid.
Try MD Hearing Aid risk-free for 45 days. Call 1-800-300-0868. Plus, you'll get free shipping and free batteries for a year. 1-800-300-0868.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads, your morning commute. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And with that fog, we're seeing some delays now as we look at the flight boards at O'Hare and also at Midway. There are a few delays at each airport. Metra has significant delays on the Union Pacific North Line after a pedestrian incident south of Highwood Station. The Edens runs 31 minutes from Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Kennedy, now 56 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound 48 minutes to Montrose, an hour and 2 minutes to the airport. There was a crash at Lawrence. It's gone now. The Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 50 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound 46 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 45 minutes. Ryan is 34 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 425. Lakeshore Drive's okay. Northbound Tri-State. Stop and go Cicero to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway jam from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Northbound Veterans Memorial slow. The Army Trail toll to 290. Northwest Indiana's fun. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A dense fog advisory in effect for this morning. Patchy morning fog, then becoming warm today with partial sunshine. High getting up to 81. Then turning out to be a clear night tonight with a low of 62. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 63 clouds and again heavy dense fog this morning. Next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So the sweepstakes to be the next Illinois Poet Laureate are starting to heat up. I've really kind of opened up a Pandora's box, if you will.
I have a good one. But listeners go first.
Well, I mean, so I suggest I don't have the time to do it. So if nominated, I will not run. Dan. If elected, I will not serve. However, Downers Grove native, Leaping Lanny Poffo, a former poet laureate of the WWF.
Yeah, exactly.
I have nominated him, Marcus, our program director.
Oh, who is he nominating?
I didn't. How about he listens to the show? I had no
idea. That's fantastic.
So he said, I'll support the Poffo bid for laureate, but only if he writes his poems on Frisbees and tosses them into the crowd like he used to. Well, obviously.
Sweet.
Obviously, that would be a stipulation for Poffo to be nominated. I'm sorry that Randy Macho Man Savage, his brother, is not with us, so I can't nominate him. You have a nominee?
Ditka, Coach Ditka, or anybody on the 85 Bears, because they have not gotten enough recognition.
Well, it's true. They should get more recognition.
We should appreciate them more.
I don't know. We'd have to move the state capital to Bobolink. So Ronnie Woo Woo nominated 630. Andrew Dice Clay nominated from 219. Andrew Dice Clay not in Illinois.
But he's not
native or resident, so that won't work.
Keep it local, folks.
And please, 219. We're a new Criterion show here. We're conservatives who appreciate the arts. Dirty limericks, not poetry. You know. All right, that's just a little bit of the local. We'll continue to take your suggestions for Illinois Poet Laureate.
Go to 64636, type in DA, then your nomination.
Yeah, or if you'd like to recite poetry, we'll do a little poetry slam here. 312-642-5600 is the turnkey.pro answer line. We got to talk a little tax reform with Grover Norquist, also a man of letters, somebody who appreciates the arts. Perhaps he will have a verse or two he'd like to share with us. But first, Donald Trump shared with us his view on tax reform, particularly as it pertains to the wealthy. Here's what the president had to say.
The rich will not be gaining at all with this plan. We're looking for the middle class, and we're looking for jobs. I think the wealthy will be pretty much where they are. Pretty much where they are. If we can do that, we'd like it. If they have to go higher, they'll go higher.
So I don't remember that on the campaign trail. I thought he was going to cut taxes for the middle class and the upper class and not raise taxes for the upper class.
No. First of all, we don't have classes in this country because we're not India. We have families who make different levels of money on a rolling annual basis. But he had suggested previously tax cuts for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also willing to be punitive to, say, the money changers that run hedge funds, for example. He was open to that idea during the campaign trail. So are these fighting words that Trump offered or insightful words for trying to get tax reform done? To that, we asked the president of Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Norquist. Grover, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great to be with you.
Did you have a nominee for Illinois Poet Laureate before we get started?
I don't, but I am working on a limerick about tax reform.
All right, very good.
I will call in when it's done. I'm looking for things that rhyme with taxes.
Yes.
And tax credits.
Oh, yes. Boy, tax credits. That's tough. Okay, we'll give you some time on that. What about President Trump's words about middle income families need relief? Certainly we need to reduce the corporate rate. And if the wealthy perhaps need to pay more, then they have to pay more.
Well, it's a weird comment. What he's reacting to or overreacting to is the left responds to every reduction in taxes, every refusal to raise taxes, as that's just for the rich. That's what they say. Remember, Obama said he was going to raise taxes on the top 1%, but nobody else. It took him 16 days before he raised taxes on cigarette smokers' average income, $40,000 a year. And then in Obamacare, there were 8 taxes that directly whack the middle class, including taxes on your insurance premiums that makes your insurance cost more for everybody. And on medical devices. So if you have a wheelchair and make $20,000 a year, there's a tax on it. So one should just, when the Democrats say it's all about tax cuts for the rich, that's what they said about Reagan's tax cuts, which were 25% across the board and created 4% growth a year as opposed to the 2% growth a year that Obama did. The best way to have economic growth is to have lower taxes overall. The president gets that on the corporate income tax. What he appears to be misunderstanding is that on the individual side, there are 30 million American companies that are called pass-throughs, like sole proprietorships, partnerships, subchapter S corporations. They pay their business taxes through the personal income tax rate. So when the Democrats go, we're going to raise taxes on rich people to 40% plus state taxes, what they've just done, as they did under Obama, is to raise those taxes on small businesses that look like rich people because they're 10 people working for the company. And it looks like it's a bunch of money, and it is, but it's not one person's money. So when you raise taxes on the higher income personal rates, you're actually taxing smaller businesses. And Trump is used to larger businesses, not smaller businesses. So it's a little disconcerting, although to be fair to Trump and to back up, he was the one who asserted that we should drop the business tax rate for people who pay subchapter S companies, which would be a dramatic tax reduction for people in the top bracket who are running businesses inside their personal income tax rate. So we've heard this before. Mnuchin made some comment months and months ago, we're not going to cut taxes on rich people. What they mean is we're focused on growth. We're focused on the middle class. The beneficiaries of reducing the tax rate on investment and savings and business income is the guy who didn't have a job last week and gets one next week.
Well,
he has an infinite increase in his income.
So Steve Mnuchin said
zero to something good.
Mnuchin said yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that all tax cuts will be paid for with economic growth. How is that going to happen?
That's a very healthy sign. Very healthy sign. What it means is we have now dynamic scoring. Back when Reagan was president, they used static scoring. They said that if you raise taxes on people, it won't discourage them from working. If you cut taxes on savings, investment, and work, you won't get more of it, which is nonsense. We cut taxes on across the board. We got more work, more savings, more investment. All of the static model people looked stupid for 7 years in a row. Eventually, they said, okay, we can do some dynamic scoring. We'll recognize that if you cut the capital gains tax, every time we do that, we actually get more money. from capital gains. We will recognize some dynamic scoring. And so when they say if you cut the business tax, the corporate income tax from 35% down to 20 or 15%, you may lose some revenue because you were expecting a 35%. You would get so much more growth, though, that you will regain much of that, maybe not all, but much of that tax revenue that was lost by cutting the rates. And you count that against tax cuts. So you say, okay, how much are we losing for the tax cut and how much are we gaining from growth? Keep in mind one number. This is a CBO number. This is the idiot government number, okay? So this is not some number criticizing the way the government does its calculations. If you grow at 4% a year instead of 2% a year, at Reagan levels instead of Obama levels, and you do that for 1 decade, 10 years, the government will net $6 trillion in additional tax revenue. Not by raising taxes, but because more people are working, making more money, and paying taxes. $6 trillion. You can cut taxes a lot if the goal of that is to get growth from 2% to 4%, which is what Reagan did.
But the problem you have, of course, Grover, is that you have a lot of big government Republicans who buy the class envy rhetoric that the left is prone to promulgate. And so the question, one of the questions, at least a political question, is: are you in the camp of Moore, Kudlow, Laffer, Forbes, get the corporate rate down to 20% roughly, do something for middle-income families, even if it's just the standard deduction, try and flatten personal rates a little bit and call it a day, declare victory? Or the Paul Ryan camp, which seems to be this is an opportunity to really kind of holistically rethink the tax code?
I'm for both, but this is not either or. This is not the last tax cut. This is 2017. We will cut taxes. We will get growth. The more growth you get, the more Republicans get elected in 2018. If we do a good pro-growth job with this tax reform, we will have lots of jobs, and people will recognize the change that took place. The Republicans will hold the Senate and strengthen in the Senate and hold the House. And then you've got another 2 years to do more tax reduction and more tax reform. So I'm for getting as much tax reform as we can while maximizing the pro-growth sections of it. We can come back later and clean up little nit things here and there. I'm not in favor of getting in any war with some little tax deduction over in one corner that some senators are in love with. Come back and get it later when there are 5 more Republican senators, and we don't need that one person to do the next tax reform.
He is Grover Norquist, President of Americans for Tax Reform. We'll look forward to that tax credit limerick you're working on. Grover, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
There was a young lady from Manhattan. Okay,
That's a good start. Yeah. Thanks, Grover.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh. All right. Coming up next, a chainsaw nun. It's a funny visual. You're talking about the same thing, right? The lady in Florida? I mean, I don't think there's a lot of nuns out there with chainsaws, right? And later...
There's more than you think, apparently.
And later, Dan, Rob Blagojevich's final interview with Channel 5 and what he thinks is going to happen in the near future.
Yeah, we'll interrupt Gallagher at the 10 o'clock.
Will you stop it? Come on, it's good. It's good. I think it's going to happen. Today, partly sunny. Morning fog is still here, but it will slowly lift by later this morning. Early afternoon, we'll have warm conditions. It will be humid, a high of 81 degrees. And then for the next 3 days, we're going to have signs of summer, highs in the mid to upper 80s with plenty of sunshine. Now let's go into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Amy and Dan, there's some fog and there are some flight delays, a few at each of the Chicago airports due to that fog. The Eden says heavier delays now, starting at Dempster on the inbound side. 35 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 32. The Kennedy, 56 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 2 minutes after a crash at Lawrence. The Eisenhower, an hour and 19 minutes. Thorndale with the post office, an hour from Manheim. About 56 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, about 45 minutes. Ryan is 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive still okay. Northbound Tri-State, it is bottled up Cicero to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park, Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to Kennedy, the Veterans Memorial, from I-55 to the Reagan Tollway, the Army Trail Toll to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
So, Amy, I went to Northridge Prep on Tuesday this week. Man, that is a school that is put together.
Where is Northridge Prep?
Niles.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that, next to Bennett.
That's where it's at?
So headmaster Neil Fagan and the admissions guy, Rob, did a little tour, talked to some of the teachers. I talked to, I think he was a 7th grader, who's more articulate than 99% of the General Assembly. Will Ray, the former Loyola basketball coach after Gene Sullivan in the 90s, he's the athletic director there. I didn't even know. We had a great talk about college basketball. They have a good sports program, too. This is a great school. This is a great school. And with tax credit scholarships coming online in Illinois, you want to check it out, I'd suggest, particularly if your kids go to, say, for example, I don't know, a bigoted Catholic school, an anti-Catholic bigoted school right
Most
now.
of them don't even know what James G. Blaine is.
I thought it was Dianne Feinstein Grammar School that your kids go to. Is that no?
No, leave my Blue Jays alone.
Yeah, grade 6 through 12, Northridge Prep. All right? Open house October 22nd. I'm excited to tell you about Northridge Preparatory School. It's an independent Catholic school for boys, grades 6 through 12. No brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. All of their teachers are like heavy intellectuals. A lot from Ivy League schools, Notre Dame, Northwestern.
University of Iowa.
Not represented. So another plus. No.
Get your hands off my herky.
All boys, all male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm. It's a good place to be a boy. I really impressed by the entire staff there. These are gentlemen who are role models. They get to the hearts of the students. They have demanding liberal arts curriculum that produces well-rounded men, underline, with the ability to think for themselves. Northridge Prep grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have good athletics, top athletics programs, really, and arts programs. They're the number one best all-boys school in Illinois and a top 100 high school in America, according to U.S. News. So I encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on October 22nd. October 22nd open house. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. That website again, northridgeprep.org.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day, take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Once again, Schrank Smoke & Gun has great offers to save you money. For the month of September, get 10% off all Smith & Wesson firearms, new and used. There's pistols, revolvers, and rifles. Combine this sale with the M&P Perfect Summer Hideaway rebate for an even better deal. Plus, save even more money and avoid Cook County taxes at Schrank's. Schrank Smoke & Gun has Lake County's largest selection of new, used, and consignment pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, and full gunsmith services. And the Schrank's humidors have all of your favorite cigars. If you don't already know, find out in September why Schrank's is the firearms store generations of customers trust. Visit smoke_gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Like Schrank's on Facebook and keep up with the Schrank's valuable series of employee product and service recommendations. Schrank Smoke & Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Napa know-how. When you purchase a set of Napa brake pads and rotors, you get a discount code from Fanatics.com worth up to $50 towards your favorite sports gear. While Napa can't help your team reach the promised land, we can help make sure your car will, because these brakes come with something no sports team does: guaranteed performance. Great brakes, great price, great fan gear. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. Offer expires September 30th, 2017.
Life doesn't stop for car trouble, work, school, dentist appointments, the workout you wouldn't mind skipping. Our cars connect us to our lives, so wouldn't it be reassuring to know that our cars are up to the job? Enter Hum by Verizon, the technology that connects you to your car. Now you can check your car's health from your phone with vehicle diagnostics. Get advice on the go with a certified mechanics hotline. And if Hum detects a collision, it can send help automatically with 24/7 emergency assistance. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know who sings this?
Sister Christian. I could play this on the piano.
It's not you, I'll tell you that.
I'm singing it now. And you know that you're the only one to say.
Yeah.
I can't, no, I can play this on the piano, this song.
I'm real impressed. You know who sings it?
I'm playing it on the desk. No.
You don't know who sings this?
Mike, help me.
No, do not help her.
I refuse.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
My friend Fred Winston said it was the best song he had heard since the Beatles.
Wow.
This song?
This is a great song. This is a great song. It's an 80s anthem.
It is.
Night Ranger.
Yeah, that's good.
Ready?
Somebody told you.
No.
You
Because
just-
you're going to be motoring here. Ready? Ready? Come on, everybody.
Motoring.
What's your price for flight?
I'd rather hear that El Gallo song. Good grief. Well, the cleanup, speaking of Sister Christian, the cleanup for Hurricane Irma in Florida, divinely inspired. Let me introduce you to Sister Margaret Ann.
And on with a chainsaw, out working hard, gloves on, cleaning up the debris. She is Sister Margaret Ann. An off-duty officer in Miami was driving through the neighborhood, and he stopped in his tracks and filmed her at work. And Sister Margaret Ann joins me now. Sister, thank you very much. Look, people see that video, and it sort of captures the heart to see you out there working. Obviously, using a chainsaw is not easy, and it's dangerous. What made you get out there and start getting to work?
The road was blocked. We couldn't get through, and I saw somebody spin in the mud and almost go into a wall going off the road. And so there was a need. I had the means, so I wanted to help out. At the school, ACC, our Archbishop Coleman Carroll High School, we had the chainsaws sitting in the closet, and they didn't belong there. They needed to be used. So, we teach our students, do what you can to help. And so this was an opportunity where I could do something to help. And thanks be to God, I was able to do it.
I mean, what is not to love about that woman? Getting it done. She don't need a man in her life. Oh, no. I mean, she's got the Lord, but she's got a chainsaw.
In a world gone mad, one nun is clearing the roads and the path to eternal life.
And, of course, she's a Bennett grad, right?
Yeah, right. Sister Margaret Ann.
I love it.
Coming to a theater near you. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. What do you got there, Danny boy?
Well,
Can't top that, can you?
No, I can't. We'll try and work in Blagojevich, but
we'll try to.
Here's As you know, speaking of Blagojevich, Illinois politics is dark and full of terrors, and one of them is named Nancy Kimmy, and we'll introduce you to her and her to you at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
63 clouds, and outside your window this morning, some heavy and dense fog. Several Marines are in very critical condition at this hour. It happened after a training exercise near San Diego. More than a dozen Marines were on an amphibious assault vehicle when it crashed and went up in flames at Camp Pendleton. Now, most of those Marines had to be rushed to the University of San Diego's Burn Center. This is the latest in a string of accidents at that base, including a Marine who died during land navigation training earlier this month. Deal or no deal? President Trump says no deal has been reached on DACA, despite what leading Democrats have said. Senator Chuck Schumer and House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi said after dinner with Trump last night that they agreed to preserve the Deferred Action Program and put it into law without providing funding for a border wall. The president took to Twitter this morning to reject that claim. 2 Florida nursing homes without power had to be evacuated overnight after 8 nursing home residents were found dead in the sweltering heat at another facility yesterday. This morning, the president and first lady will visit Naples, Florida.
He will be in the Naples and Fort Myers area.
Hurricane leaving a path of destruction across the state. Overall damages are still being assessed. Meantime, in Washington, GOP House Speaker Paul Ryan is saying sweeping tax reform will be unveiled by the end of the month.
It starts with the outline that will be released the 25th, and then the tax writing committees are going to take feedback and input, and then they're going to go produce their bills in the weeks ahead.
Ryan saying details are still being worked out with the White House. A vote to repeal the Cook County sweetened beverage tax will have to wait at least a month. A group of county commissioners introduced a motion yesterday to get rid of the penny an ounce fee. The suburban commuter rail agency Metra is considering hiking fares by up to 20% and cutting weekend service. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Chris Kennedy is set to announce a new running mate today. The Tribune says it will be Ra Joy, executive director of a Chicago-based coalition called Change Illinois. And don't get arrested in Murfreesboro, Illinois, unless you've got an extra 20 in your pocket. It's going to cost you that extra 20 just to get out of jail in Murfreesboro. City leaders this week approving the new $20 fee for anyone released from jail. Murfreesboro police say they will pocket that 20 and pay for police department needs. The chief says they may raise as much as $6,000 a year. Cubs smacked 16 hits in a 17-5 rout of the Mets. White Sox 5-3 winners over the Royals in that rubber match. The news service of Sprint. You know what's better than getting a new smartphone? Getting a great deal on the best-selling Motorola from Sprint. Visit your local Sprint store, sprint.com/free phones, or call 800-SPRINT-1 today to learn more. Sprint works for me. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The founder of Black Lives Matter said white racist hate speech is not free speech.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Again, somebody stupid on the left, not understanding our Constitution, not understanding the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So, what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-6096. That's 1-800-400-6096. 1-800-400-6096.
7:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. An update on your morning commute with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound has delays starting at Oakton. It's 32 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 36 to Kennedy. An hour and 15 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 39 minutes from Montrose, 35 in the Express, outbound 59 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 19 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 56 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 12, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 48 minutes. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy 18th to Jackson. Tri-State southbound, slow 132 to 176. Northbound, jam, Cicero to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Reagan Tollway tight from 22nd to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial from Archer up to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. Metra has some delays on the Union Pacific North line after an early morning pedestrian incident south of Highwood Station. Traffic, service of Little Caesars, home of the large $5 hot and ready pepperoni pizza. Little Caesars, the home of the large hot and ready pizzas, like the classic pepperoni for $5 and the deep dish pepperoni for $8. Don't forget the crazy bread. All this and more at Little Caesars, plus tax at participating locations. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy, heavy, dense fog this morning. Not everywhere is getting the really heavy stuff, but pretty much everyone will see some fog this morning. With sunshine in the afternoon, it'll warm up to a high of 81, and we'll have a clear night ahead and a low of 62. Currently 62. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Don't miss Freedom Summit Chicago 2017, Saturday, November 11th, featuring Dinesh D'Souza and Oliver North. Tickets on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Obama announced in a video yesterday that he's going to bring civic leaders from around the globe together to take part in the inaugural Obama Foundation Summit. If you like the Clinton Foundation, you're going to love the Obama Foundation and its summit, I'm sure. Young leaders will exchange ideas and learn from one another. Won't that be exciting? One of the things maybe they could address is Chicago and Illinois being home to the largest exodus of human beings since the Israelites fled Egypt. And that continues unabated. As the United Van Line's annual study out yesterday, Chicago becoming the only major city to lose population in 2016. Chicago becoming the only major city to lose population in 2016. It is the top city for residents leaving in the country, United Van Line's annual study. So,
and it's what, 8,363 left between 2015 and 2016?
Yeah, that was the net. And
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and it continues to dwindle. Just north of 2.7 million is the population of Chicago. Revolt or bolt? Yeah, revolt or bolt. By the way, Mike Scott reported earlier in his news about what was I can't remember the name of the outfit that did the study, but in terms of Midwestern cities where people have the best job prospects, Chicago barely made the top 25. You know, it was number 2 or 3.
Was it Minneapolis?
Indianapolis.
Oh, Indianapolis. I can see that.
Yeah.
Have you been to Indianapolis lately? It is gorgeous. They have this river walk. I mean, they've been working on it 10 years, but it's a really cute, clean, friendly town.
Revolt or bolt? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. That's one canary in the coal mine. Just the continuing exodus.
I have a friend who's, they're doing some comparative analysis because they send their kids to private school here. They pay the taxes. They went to Carmel, Indiana 2 weekends ago to check it out.
Oh, yeah.
They would save themselves $42,000 a year if they moved to Indiana into a comparable house. $42,000 a year.
Listen to this. So the Notre Dame game I went to on Saturday, I went to with a bunch of guys from the Nashville area. And one of them is a Chicago transplant who left Chicago 3 years ago to move he and his family to Nashville. 9 acres in Nashville, 10,000 square foot home.
Oh, yeah, big money. You got some nice friends.
$1.2 million price tag.
That's it?
Guess what the property taxes are?
Oh, in Chicago, they'd be, what, 20,000 a year?
30 probably.
Yeah.
7.
7,000 a year?
7,000 a year is
a
what
year?
That's what I pay on my 1,100 square foot one bedroom in Chicago. And if you're in the suburbs, you're going to pay a multiple of that because in Chicago you still have commercial subsidizing residential. 9 acres. 9 acres.
Can I go to his house for spring break? He'll never even know I'm there.
Seriously.
I can camp out on the 9 acre. He won't know. We'll just be in the corner.
I mean, their stories
Wow.
are legion, and we continue to tell them here. I've told a story in March. 2 homes. 5-bedroom home in Aurora, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Sold for $250,000, round numbers. Tax bill just north of $8,000. In Aurora, Colorado, similarly priced home sold for $250,000 within days of the one in Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah.
Tax bill, $800. Property tax bill, $800. $8,000 in Aurora, Illinois, $800 in Aurora, Colorado. I could go on and on and on.
Could. I just
which
never
is
knew.
what
Right.
You have got to go to. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Get the information. Homeowners, defendhomeowners.com. This is one of my initiatives. Defendhomeowners.com, Homeowners Defense Association. Get the report on your home. We have 85% of all the residential properties in Illinois inventoried. It's a free report. You just sign up and you get a report. Do yourself a favor and understand exactly what's happening, how your home is being stripped of value as property taxes eat away your equity, and also a sense of the amount of home you could have bought if you were paying property taxes at the rates that homeowners pay in Indiana and Tennessee and even Wisconsin, which is a higher tax state.
Right.
And frankly, the rest of the nation.
I know.
Everywhere. Except here.
I always wonder how my sister and all her friends could afford those bigger homes in Missouri. And now I know why. I mean, her tax bill at $3,000 a year. And everybody should listen.
Negative multiplier effect, too. It's not just the out-of-pocket. It's what it does to it destroys home value. There's no possibility for return on investment.
But also, too, everyone should check your mortgage statements because, a lot of people just throw them away and the automatic pay. No, we're seeing increases because of the tax increase that went into effect August 1st.
More on the way. Lewis in Texas. You're in Dayton, Texas. You're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
I wanted to, comment about leaving Chicago. I spent 10 years in the military at Camp Pendleton by San Diego, and I came back home after I got out the military and looking to buy a home, and just everything as far as taxes and the prices of everything was just ridiculous. Before then, I spent a little bit of time in Texas out here, and I was looking at some of the homes, and it was a big major contributing factor to the reasons to why I left, as well as jobs. I'm a plumber now, and from what I'm making compared to what I would be making in Chicago as a plumber is a huge difference, not to mention the cost of living down here is a lot cheaper. If I may give an example, I have a 10-acre piece of land, and my house is 2,500 square feet roughly, and I only paid $150 for it.
Oh, my God.
I have farm animals. I have about 20 chickens, and I have 5 cows. And out here, you get a agricultural, tax break. So I'm paying maybe about $500 a year in taxes.
Oh my
Thanks for the call, Lewis. And here's the thing: Chicago's a great city. It's a world-class city. I love Chicago. That's why I'm here.
I love it.
But it doesn't have to be this way. The argument that the Pauls will say, well, yeah, but Chicago, this and yes, you can have this great world-class city, and you can also not destroy the largest investment most people are going to make in their lives. Those two things are not mutually exclusive, as other states, like every other one of them, are proving. So don't buy the propaganda of the premium you're paying for what you get here that is not available anywhere else, or even available here if different policy decisions were made. That's a lie. That's school funding. In Indiana, they got schools. In Tennessee, they got schools. And by the way, on balance, those schools are performing better than Illinois schools.
Okay.
So, all of the rap you get from the political class is a lie for them to protect their phony baloney, well-funded sinecures. The beneficiaries of the status quo are the only ones trying to rationalize this kleptocracy. John in Lamont, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Basically, I would bolt if I didn't have to try and stay working. I'm trying to earn a benefit, but basically, I can leave Illinois in 8 years. Of those 8 years, 1 whole year of my salary goes to property taxes.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Thanks for the call, John. No, I get it. I mean, in most of places, we've done all these regional analyses. Go to defendhomeowners.com. They're all there. Suburban, the suburban Cook and the Collards, as well as the city. It's all broken up. What you'll find is most people are paying for their home over the course of their 30-year fixed mortgage in this state at least 1 1/5 times. Some people 2 times. Some people 3 times just in property taxes. In addition to the additional time you'll pay for your home with the respect to the interest on your 30-year fixed. That's how confiscatory it is. That's why it's impossible to get a return on investment. And most people don't appreciate this until they go to try to sell their home.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, well, how much can I get? Yeah. Rick in Wilmington.
Hey, Dan and Amy, good morning. I'm 50 years old. I've worked my whole life. 4 years ago, I realized my dream of buying waterfront property here in Wilmington. I've got my boat tied up behind my house. I got married last year. I'm in radio sales, and I'm a real estate broker, and I am getting the hell out of this state. My wife showed me her ADP statement this morning on her cell phone, and my head almost exploded. I could not believe what the state is taking in taxes alone. And to speak to property taxes, I live on the Grundy County side of Wilmington, which is unincorporated, versus the Will County side. Another house that we looked at on the other side with one less bathroom than mine, the taxes were triple what mine are on Grundy County side. They were $5,900. Mine were $2,000. I just put an addition on, and I know mine are going to go up by 50%. I've had it. How do you rebuild at 50 years of age? I don't know. How do I become a real estate agent with new connections, knowing new markets, selling radio in an area where I don't know any of the small business owners? But I'm leaving. They've gotten enough for me, and that's it.
Thanks for the call, Rick.
Stay in Grundy County.
Sorry to lose you, but I mean, this is an example.
Keep listening to us wherever you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You can with the mobile app.
But
download it.
This is an example of exactly what we're talking about. We talk about all the time. People who play by the rules, did everything right, did everything you're supposed to do, and
they're still getting robbed by politicians.
They're being liquidated.
Yeah.
Everything you own is being liquidated. It's not like robbed in the general sense, kind of the political rhetoric. Oh, taken out of my pockets, hands in my pocket. You are being liquidated. Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Thanks, Dan and Amy, for taking my call. I'm a little bit confused. Maybe you can help me out. We got all these people leaving Chicago, but it's just amazing to me, all the skyscrapers and high-rises that are being built near downtown or in downtown. Where are those people coming from?
Well, there's 8 under construction right now, because I learned that from the alderman, your good buddy.
There's 35 tower cranes.
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's a couple of things going on. So, for example,
We're getting ready for Amazon.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the call, Bob. So there's a place right just west of me, One Bennett Place. It's going up right now. $1,100 a square foot. 2 bedrooms that start at $2.1 million.
Who is moving into these places?
So it's foreign money. So it's an appeal for these high-end condos that the developers are making an appeal for Chinese money, foreign money.
Mm-hmm.
People that are insulated from no return on a $2 million investment. They don't care. It's funny money. And then with respect to a lot of the other buildings, these are for renters. So, yeah, are young professionals still coming to a handful of wards in the city where I live, where you live, Old Town, Ukrainian Village, Lincoln Park? Yeah. That's still happening. They're mostly rentals. That's number one, which is important. So not dropping anchor in Chicago, can leave on a moment's notice effectively. And number two, you're talking about 150, 200,000 people in a city of 2.7 million and declining. I say this again. Don't get fooled by the Potemkin villages downtown, the Planters and the Mag Mile and a handful of tower cranes. Because you can't have 45 of 50 wards burned down around you and think you're going to be insulated. I certainly don't, and I'm in one of the 5 wards, as are you, Amy. I don't. Not true. You will be infected. You will be impacted. Will it be less, at least in the short term? Yeah, probably. But nobody is insulated, and it's not sustainable. 150, 200,000 people cannot sustain how Chicago operates. And it certainly doesn't throw off enough opportunity and income potential for most of those 2.7 million. So don't get fooled. There is an explanation. There's no contradiction there. I understand why people, it's so beautiful, and the tower cranes, right, everything's right with the world. No, it isn't. And the out-migration speaks to that as well. Leo in Kane County.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. You know, the thing a lot of folks forget about are the different add-ons for everyone's tax bill. I'm out in Kane County, and the Park District levies a tax. A lot of the Park Districts can be separate entities, actually are part of the separate entity. They could be part of the municipalities. And then the other thing is the Kane County Forest Preserve District has a tax for that, and doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but they own a huge ice skating rink out by me as well. So I think that's what a lot of people forget about, and these entities always ask for additional bond money, and the voters vote for it all the time.
Government empire building. That's right, Leo. Thanks for the call. Excellent point. Tom in Oswego.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I don't think these rocket science politicians understand that the trickle down. I'm a small businessman. I have for about 30 years. I do a lot of work in the city, Ken, on those companies with those cranes. Those cranes have been in the works for years.
That's true. Yes, that's right.
You're going to see cranes disappearing.
Yeah.
Second, the trickle down, when these people, they call the rich people and people that are leaving, that's less work that I'm doing for these people because they're not here. So it's affecting me also. And as far as taxes go, I'm getting killed out in Kendall County. I pay almost $12,000 a year in taxes. That's just property taxes. Then you throw in all the other taxes that are included. I probably take home 10 cents on the dollar.
Oh, it's more than that. It's more. Thanks for the call time. It's more than that. It's more like 14 or 15 cents on the dollar here. Before the tax increases that went into effect July 1st, we had the highest combined state and local tax burden in the country. Before those tax increases, and before the tax increases that are coming, and before the soda tax in Cook County, for example, and the latest bond issue for your school district or other local unit of government. It's a hammering. So again, you either revolt or you bolt. I think that's the choice for people that want to reap the benefits of their labor. I think it's really as simple as that. Megan in Whiting, Indiana.
Good morning, guys. I was just calling because I'm a high-end interior designer, and I work for 90% of my clients are one-percenters, and what I do is fix up their places when they move here. Well, over the last few years, about maybe, approximately 60% of my new clients are people buying in these high-rises and places like 180 East Pearson. These people don't live in the city. They are coming from other states.
That's
and
right.
They are buying second homes here just to come visit, see the bulls, things like that. And then I'd also like to say Whiting is becoming a beautiful place. It's a 30-minute drive,
All right, let's
rush hour traffic.
Come on over. Whiting on the list.
Megan.
There. All right, thanks for the call, Megan.
Promote our hometown.
Scout some properties for us and send them over, will you? Appreciate that.
Fa la 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 ka-ching.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
I can't live without it. A MyPillow, and all the cool kids have one. If you're not sleeping on a MyPillow, I suggest you do and get a great night's sleep. Do it for yourself. Give yourself the gift of a great night's sleep. It's so important. You wake up feeling refreshed. You don't have a stiff neck. Why? Well, the patented fill conforms to your neck and back. You can wash it and dry it when it gets dirty. If you feel like it's getting flat, throw it in the dryer. You don't have to take it to the dry cleaners. And there's a 10-year warranty, 6-month money-back guarantee, 60-day money-back guarantee. And the true patriot and founder, Mike Lindell, just so you know, he donated 60,000 pillows to those Texas flood victims. So do what I did. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in the promo code, and get 50% off the 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, all 50% off. MyPillow.com, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, and tell them Amy sent you.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Gentlemen, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know my numbers. Low T made it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. So, gentlemen, if you don't know your numbers, haven't met your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this limited time offer. I know at Low T Center they will take great care of you. Plus, it's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. Do yourself a favor and call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. Again, the number, 312-239-3427. 312-239-3427. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test in September. Call now or visit them online at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
Napa know-how. When you purchase a set of Napa brake pads and rotors, you get a discount code from Fanatics.com worth up to $50 towards your favorite sports gear. While Napa can't help your team reach the promised land, we can help make sure your car will, because these brakes come with something no sports team does: guaranteed performance. Great brakes, great price, great fan gear. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Offer expires September 30th, 2017.
Life doesn't stop for car trouble, work, school, dentist appointments, the workout you wouldn't mind skipping. Our cars connect us to our lives, so wouldn't it be reassuring to know that our cars are up to the job? Enter Hum by Verizon, the technology that connects you to your car. Now you can check your car's health from your phone with vehicle diagnostics. Get advice on the go with a certified mechanics hotline. And if Hum detects a collision, it can send help automatically with 24/7 emergency assistance. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Deal or no deal? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Democratic House and Senate leaders say they walked away from a White House dinner with an agreement on DACA to protect some immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally. But they admit in a statement just out there's still negotiating to do on border security. But Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer remain opposed to a wall. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders is clarifying the president's position on DACA and the border wall with Mexico.
He wants to get a deal done. He wants to do that with DACA, but also to include massive border security and interior enforcements. That's what he's tweeted this morning. That was the message he relayed last night.
The president, meanwhile, on Twitter indicating that he wants the DACA program to continue, writing, "Does anybody really want to throw out good, educated, and accomplished young people who have jobs, some serving in the military? Really," the president wrote. Dave?
John, Air Force One's just taken off, headed to Hurricane Irma-damaged Florida.
This state is in recovery mode as people are surveying the damage to their homes and their businesses. People in the Keys still trying to get their roads back open despite the lack of power, gas, and other basic necessities.
Fox's Lauren Blanchard in Fort Myers, the president's first stop. Emergency workers also checking out nursing homes that have no power. The day after 8 died in a sweltering AC-less home in Hollywood. 5 Marines remain in critical condition the day after a training exercise went wrong on a beach near San Diego.
15 Marines are recovering after their amphibious vehicle caught fire. The Marines are from the 1st Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, and 3rd Assault Amphibian Battalion. They were doing combat readiness evaluations when the incident happened. A defense official who spoke anonymously about it says the vehicle got stuck and caught fire as the Marines were trying to free it.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Costlier gas has driven up inflation. Consumer prices rose 0.4% in August, the biggest increase in 7 months. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Heavy and dense fog is 63 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A vote to repeal the Cook County sweetened beverage tax will have to wait at least a month. A group of county commissioners introduced a motion yesterday to get rid of that penny an ounce fee. However, following hours of public testimony, the proposal was sent to the county's Finance Committee and will come back for an October 10 hearing. Dozens of demonstrators gathered yesterday at the Crowne Plaza Hotel, the site where Kanika Jenkins' body was discovered Sunday. Police say they've interviewed groups of people, and authorities plan to show surveillance video to the victim's mother later today. Chicago's planned municipal IDs will apparently have multiple uses. Mayor Emanuel announcing yesterday the ID will be able to function as a CTA fare card. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Chris Kennedy will announce a running mate today. According to the Tribune, that candidate will be Ra Joy, who's executive director of the Chicago-based coalition Change Illinois. More than a quarter of this year's freshman class at the University of Illinois are not from the state of Illinois. School released its fall enrollment numbers yesterday, and the class of 2021 is a bit smaller than last year's freshman class, but once again, the school is facing questions about recruiting out-of-state and out-of-country students. They pay higher tuition than students from the state of Illinois. Cubs over the Mets 17-5. White Sox win the rubber match with Kansas City 5-3. The news service of your local Jeep dealer. It's 1 week to Jeep at your local Jeep dealer. Get the best deals of the year on award-winning lineups. But don't wait. 1 week to Jeep ends soon. Hurry in and see your local Jeep dealer today. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Equifax shares have slumped to the lowest level in more than a year and a half after the Massachusetts Attorney General announced a lawsuit against the credit bureau. The cyber attack at Equifax happened in May, but the company waited months to reveal the hacking of as many as 143 million Americans. JPMorgan Chase is taking another strike at Bitcoin. First, its CEO Jamie Dimon called the digital currency a fraud. Now JPMorgan analyst Marko Kolanovic is comparing Bitcoin to a pyramid scheme. Samsung Electronics is working with another partner on self-driving cars. Samsung is investing nearly $90 million in TT Tech, an Austrian company that makes autonomous technology. The Dow closed at a record yesterday, up 39, NASDAQ up almost 6, and the S&P was up a point. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360 and discover how to capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising budget. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business in the digital world that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call 866-SEEN-360 today and talk to digital experts who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is America's #1 hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
It's 8:07, and let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Mike, we're seeing lots of delays at the airports now. That early morning fog has, after descending on O'Hare and Midway, we've got quite a few delays for arrivals and departures at both Chicago airports. Metra still has extensive delays on the Union Pacific North line after an early morning pedestrian incident south of Highwood Station. Eden's 30 minutes late Cook to the junction, outbound 43. On Kennedy, delays start at Harlem. It is an hour and 9 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Virtually no savings in the express. Outbound 56 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 21 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour from Mannheim. Outbound an hour to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 46 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy. Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Southbound Tri-States, the 132 to 176. Northbound Cicero to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Worth Park, Veterans Royal, heavy. Archer up to the Reagan Tollway after the Army Trail toll to 290. Southbound 53 has delays. Rand to Kirchhoff and Higgins to Feasterfield. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Dense fog advisory in effect for the morning. Patchy morning fog, otherwise partly sunny, high today 81. Clear night, low 62. Sunshine tomorrow, high 85. And a clear night tomorrow night, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Heavy fog and 63 right now. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And the Hurricane Telethon the other night featured some great artists. Your Beyoncé's.
George Strait ended it out
Your George
with a live
Strait's.
performance from San Antonio.
Your Stevie Wonder. Apparently he can sing. I thought he was just a climatologist, and you can understand my confusion.
We've come together today to love on the people that have been devastated by the hurricanes. When love goes into action, it preferences no color of skin, no ethnicity, no religious beliefs, no sexual preferences, and no political persuasions. It just loves. As we should begin to love and value our planet, and anyone who believes that there is no such thing as global warming must be blind or unintelligent. Lord, please save us all.
All right.
Now touch the TV and I will be healed.
All right. So now that we got the climatology part of this segment done, pleased to introduce Patrick Moore, co-founder of Greenpeace, who's here to sing Signed, Sealed, and Delivered. You got to do the Stevie Wonder part, Patrick.
Hi, Dan. Well, I was surprised that he said they're either blind or unintelligent, because he at least fits one of those categories.
Indeed.
Oh, wow.
Indeed.
That was a strange twist. Hi, Amy. It's just unfortunate that these celebrities play on this fear of climate change and global warming. And actually, no one questions that the Earth has warmed slightly in the last 200 or 300 years, coming out of the Little Ice Age, which was not a very pleasant time for people trying to grow food in northern climates. We're lucky that we are living in the modern warm period, and there's been ups and downs all through history, of course. And there was over a mile of ice on top of Chicago 10,000 to 20,000 years ago. And that's climate change coming out of the last glaciation, which was one of approximately 40 glaciation periods that have occurred during the last 2.5 million years. And those were definitely not a good time to be in Canada or Russia or Scandinavia or even the northern United States, because those glaciers came right down into the northern tier states, including Illinois.
Well, I just think that
people don't study enough to understand what's really going on with the world, and the fact that we're actually living in a relatively benign climate today compared to what it's been like through much of the last 2 million years.
But who else are they going to blame besides the climate change? I mean, they can't process the fact that we had Hurricane Harvey and then Hurricane Irma a few days later.
Yes, it's the weather. And it's been happening since the beginning of time. Hurricanes are not a new phenomenon.
Especially in September.
We do only have about 100 years' worth of really good records for them, because, when Galveston in 1915, when 6,000 people died in the hurricane there, it was largely because there was absolutely no warning in those days. They didn't know those things were coming. And all of a sudden they're in a 140-mile-an-hour wind and a 15-foot surge of the sea, and that killed 6,000 people. But today, we can evacuate days ahead of time. We have much better structures now than they did then in terms of the building codes and all of that. And that's why the loss of life is so much less now than it was back then from these very powerful storms, which are just part of nature.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because it's not just you saying it as a scientist, co-founder of Greenpeace. These governmental agencies that the left is otherwise inclined to believe as a matter of faith, regardless of their pronouncements or the evidentiary basis for them, NASA, NOAA, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change at the UN, they all have said in the wake of Harvey and Irma, there is not sufficient evidence to confirm a link between climate change and the hurricanes. There is no necessary trend in frequency or intensity over more than 100 years, but I didn't hear that reference at the telethon.
No, and it's unfortunate because, NASA, NOAA, and the IPCC are not monolithic. They have different factions within themselves. But on all three of those organizations make it very clear that the link between global warming or climate change and extreme weather events does not exist. There's actually been a slight decline in hurricane intensity since the 1990s when there was a peak. But if you go back 100 years, you can see that there is essentially no trend. And so that means that you cannot link the slight warming that has occurred with any trend in hurricane activity or droughts or heavy rainfall. I mean, they make it out as if Harvey was the biggest rainfall in the history of the world. It's not true. It did break a record for the amount of rain that fell over a 3 or 4 day period, but it did not break a record for the amount of rain that fell in a 24-hour period. So that you can parse and slice these records down to minutia. There's a record broken every day in many parts of the world of one sort or another, depending on how you define it. But the fact is, there is no significant trend in anything much besides a bit of warming. And that's a good thing because the farmers get a longer growing season. We have less freezing and more thawing. And frost is basically the enemy of plants and life in general. If you go from the tropics, where biodiversity is by far the highest of anywhere on Earth, in the tropical rainforests, etc., you go to the North Pole and tell me how many species you count. And that's just the way it is. And the fact is, before this ice age came on 2-3 million years ago, there were trees and forests growing on all of Canada's Arctic islands, which are basically barren tundra today, with a few species that have managed to evolve to live in those conditions miraculously. Just shows you how able life is to adapt to harsh conditions. But they are harsh conditions compared to, say, the conditions in California, land of milk and honey. I mean, the Mediterranean climate is probably the best mix of all, and also the high altitude climates in the tropics, where you have eternal spring, like in Oaxaca and in Cuernavaca and the capitals of the South American cities that straddle the border, that are up high, where it's pleasant all year round. But the rest of the world is not like that. There's hurricanes, and there's blizzards, and there's droughts, and there's floods, and all of that. They're going to keep occurring regardless of the climate change. And in fact, we really don't know whether human beings have anything to do with the warming itself, because it started long before we started using a lot of fossil fuels.
Yeah,
like
but we always keep hearing
ago.
like the depletion of the ozone. Is that just a bunch of racket too?
Yeah, pretty much. The main thing we should be addressing is actual pollution, actual toxic materials going into the air and the water and the earth. And we're doing a pretty good job of that in the wealthy countries. China still has a lot of work to do, and Indonesia, and these countries that have industrialized but still haven't put the money into making it clean. And so you have CNN putting pictures of dirty air in China and talking about climate change and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is invisible, and it is not a pollutant. And hopefully the administration in the United States, which is taking the leadership on trying to get a more scientific approach to this subject, will reverse the endangerment finding on carbon dioxide, because CO2 is the basis of all life on Earth, and we're teaching our children that it's a poison. And it's definitely one of the worst things that's ever happened in science, this climate hysteria that is gripping the whole world.
Well, Pat, yeah, we've talked about this with respect to the PC-addled, empty-headed celebrities like Stevie Wonder and Beyonce. They're very talented, but they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, fine. Pope Francis and others who suggest, hey, essentially talk to the scientists. The debate is over. People that aren't necessarily looking for political power, like, for example, the pontiff. What do you think the basis of his pronouncements, which are of a kind with those politicians who are seeking power, or those celebrities who are just trying to follow the zeitgeist of the culture? How do you respond to Pope Francis, for example?
Well, he's definitely really far on the left, and they have a science academy in the Vatican, And he only listens to the people who are telling him that he should focus on this climate change subject, because he tries to appeal to the poor and the downtrodden. He's in that category in the Catholic Church that actually he doesn't like capitalism, he doesn't like industry, and he says that the earth has turned into a pile of filth in his climate change encyclical. So I really do believe that he is actually looking for power. He's looking to his base in the Catholic Church, which are actually, I don't think the Catholic Church is doing them any favor.
Yeah.
I think they want a donation from them. I mean, the Vatican is one of the wealthiest little parts of geography in the world, and it's all because people give money in order to make sure that they go to heaven. And the whole original sin thing, climate change plays into it perfectly. That God is angry with us because we are sinning by putting carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and changing the climate, and we should feel guilty about that. And the only way to get rid of our guilt is to give money to the church. So it's an old story. I have to admit, I'm pretty much of an agnostic when it comes to organized religion.
Well, that's okay. We don't have to have a theological discussion. Just we don't want to have a climatological one with Stevie Wonder. Pat, we appreciate, though, the science discussion and your expertise in this area, since the left is always admonishing people that are just looking at the data. We'll talk to the scientists. Well, that's what we do. That's why we have Patrick Moore on the show. Patrick Moore, the co-founder of Greenpeace. Patrick, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So, Dan, you're telling me there's a chance we could do the Blago story?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Because we're going to do it next, right? Because they think, Patty and Rod think that they're going to be.
All right, here's what I'll do.
They're going to have the sentence commuted.
Since we're not going to hear from him again for 8 years, since he's going to serve out 85% of his term, we'll do a clearance sale, and we'll give Blago one more pronouncement before we pronounce him out of our lives.
Return
for the
to
next 8
himself.
years.
Partly sunny today. As you can see, morning fog is still here, but it will lift definitely by this afternoon, then becoming warm, a high of 81. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Make it quick. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Fog is causing delays at the airports, Amy. On the Edens, it's 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 40 minutes. The Kennedy, an hour and 9 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, even though the former governor's not throwing a press conference in the middle of rush hour. Express lanes save you only about a minute. Outbound 56 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower's an hour and 18 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 41 minutes. Ryan, 35 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Lakeshore Drive, southbound 35 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Southbound Tri-States, though, 21 to Oak Plain. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park, the other tollways are heavy as well. And 53 has southbound delays. Palatine to Northwest Highway, and from the Adams Tollway to Beesterfield for this crash. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
ChicagoRadioDeals.com has pulled the trigger to bring you classes for Illinois gun owners. Take advantage of the Illinois Concealed Carry classes from Safer USA. Dave Lombardo, class instructor, offering his Concealed Carry 16-hour seminar for only $150. It normally retails at $300. It covers everything you need to know to protect you and your family with a concealed carry firearm for personal protection or against a home invasion. Get in a little range time as well with a 1-year range membership from the Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Winthrop Harbor. This is the premier gun range in Northeast Illinois, and a 1-year membership, only a $149 deal. Your range membership includes great discounts on products and services at the Outdoorsman Sports Shop. Find out all the details at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint. the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you, for free, the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting TOP to 642-642. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4 Imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting TOP to 642-642. That's TOP to 642-642.
Do homeschooled students have equal educational rights as public school students? This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
I have a daughter who's now in the 11th grade. I homeschooled her, and in her 11th grade, she wanted to go to a public school here in our city. They made her repeat American Government that she had last year simply because of the title of the book. The book is entitled God and Government, and they said, oh no, I don't think we can accept that.
Well, you've made the right call. Let me tell you what we're going to do. Number one, the public school system should acknowledge under every state law there's recognition of homeschooling credits, and the fact that the course material involving history dealt with the issue of God and government should not mean that it's excluded from being used as a credit-giving course. Let me get you in touch with our lawyers here at the American Center for Law and Justice. Here we could get this resolved so that she gets the kind of credit she needs.
Learn more about student rights and the American Center for Law and Justice at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, like, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm logging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, like, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. Now, if I knew we were doing this story, I would have been teasing it all morning long. It's very salacious.
Update on Free the Nipple from Berkeley. Free the Nipple, which was the name of my college garage band.
Oh, that's right. What was it a cover band for?
It was a Toad the Wet Sprocket tribute band. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because some women want to walk around topless at Berkeley.
Berkeley resident Gypsy Taub expressed her anger at the city council, who voted down the free boobin legislation by stripping naked and running across tables in the council room.
Wait, excuse me?
Yeah. Let's get arrested. Let's get effing native, she screamed while she was running around naked on the tables of the city council. She called the council members hypocrites, oppressors. I don't care who you are. My body belongs to me, she said. She really, really does not like clothes. And then she also decided to comment on the sex lives of the council members. Your sex life is a joke because you've never liberated yourself from body shame.
My gosh.
And ultimately, she was escorted by a police officer from the premises.
But we do have exclusive audio. This is what, when she was being taken out.
We're good streaking!
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody!
She's got a deep voice.
Nobody followed her into the
got a deep
quad in the gymnasium.
She was later found at the KFC, though.
Well, oh, that's right. Mitch, get in the car. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. Oh,
Blago,
yay!
I guess.
Yay! So you're telling me there's a chance that he might get out of jail early?
No, I'm not telling you there's a chance. Just that we're clearing him out of our minds at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Fog and 63 degrees, and we're tracking inflation for you this morning, showing its biggest jump since January. The Labor Department says the Consumer Price Index rose 0.4% in August, fueled by gas prices after Harvey blasted Gulf Coast refineries. President Trump says no deal on DACA. Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi say after a meeting with the president last night, they agreed to preserve together the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program. And that agreement did not provide funding for a border wall. The president says no. The president is also on board Air Force One this morning, flying to Florida to get a firsthand look at the devastation of Hurricane Irma. The president, the first lady, the vice president, and his wife traveling to the Sunshine State. They will take part in recovery and relief efforts. Several Marines are in very critical condition after a training exercise in San Diego. More than a dozen Marines were on an amphibious assault vehicle when it crashed and went up in flames. Authorities in Spokane, Washington say the student who was killed in a school shooting died confronting the shooter.
He then fired more rounds down the hallway, striking 3 more students. And those students are in the hospital right now.
Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich says they're still looking for a motive. He believes it may be related to bullying. A vote to repeal the Cook County sweetened beverage tax will wait for at least a month. It will come up again October 10th. Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan's office has issued a handbook for law enforcement following a new state law limiting cooperation between local authorities and federal immigration agents. Among other things, the guidance in the booklet explicitly says Illinois authorities cannot honor immigration detainers. The guidance comes as McHenry County Sheriff Bill Prim faces a lawsuit over claims that it is sidestepping the law and honoring those federal detainers. Cubs rout the Mets 17-5. White Sox squeeze out a win over the Royals 5-3, and preps continue at Conway Farms for the BMW. The news service of Staples. Staples helps your business create color presentations for less. Now get 20% back in Staples rewards on color copies, manuals, and presentations that are designed to impress. Staples, it's pro time. Offer ends 11/4/17. Exclusions apply. Go to staples.com/20color for more. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Come to Cabela's Great Outdoor Days with special events and giveaways, plus doorbusters for 5 hours only, starting 8 a.m. Saturday, August 12th. Shop in store and at Cabela's.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-700-5593. That's 1-800-700-5593. 1-800-700-5593.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
8:35. Let's check that morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. Both Chicago airports have quite a few delays due to the fog this morning. Southbound 53 has delays from Palatine Road to Northwest Highway and from the Adams Tollway to Beesterfield due to a crash in that area. The Edens from Lake Cook to Montrose is 24 minutes, outbound 40. Kennedy, an hour and 11 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 46 from Montrose, but 36 now on the Express. Outbound 56 minutes to the airport, the Eisenhower. An hour and 18 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, an hour from Manheim. Outbound an hour 7 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Southbound Tri-State, stop and go 21 to Oak Plain. Northbound Southwest Highway to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Adams Tollway delays are from Lee to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway 31 to Eola and 22nd to the Tri-State. The Veterans Memorial is a jam from the Des Plaines River Bridge to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. But first, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We'll have a patchy, heavy, dense fog this morning, leading to a partly sunny midday. Warm this afternoon, high 81. Currently 63. Next news coming up at 9. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. on AM 560, explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, this is the last you're going to hear from Blagojevich for the next 8 years, so you're going to want to listen up.
Well, it was a 3-part series on NBC5. Phil Rogers over there, a dogged reporter, hard worker, was able to secure an exclusive interview with Rob Blagojevich. Although it was via telephone, he tried to get him to, have a jailhouse interview, a sit down, but it didn't happen. But last night's episode of Rod Behind Bars, that's what I like to call it, featured on the possibility that Trump might commute his sentence, and Patty Blagojevich has an inkling that might come to pass.
I actually looked back on some of the interviews with the president, and when he's asked about Rod, saying that I think he was more stupid than anything else. I don't think he was just for fundraising or for politics and that kind of stuff. So I feel like if there was ever a president that would do it, and commute a sentence or whatever, it would be this president.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. I'm under the impression, I'm with Patty on this one. I actually think that there is a chance that President Trump will commute his sentence.
Why do you think that?
Because they were friends. They worked together because Trump understands him, that Rod is a little bit of a showman like Trump is.
That's not why he would do it if he did it. Here's the only chance that Rod has, is if Trump wants to give the middle finger to Illinois and inflict Rod Blagojevich right back on us. Sanctuary state, lost the state by 18 points, tiny dancer here, Chicago Democrats destroying this state. Here's your guy right back to you. That's the only way.
Oh, I like the way you
if
think.
I was going to make an argument on behalf of Blagojevich to Trump, that's what the argument I would make. Inflict him back on the Chicago Democrats who've destroyed the land of Lincoln. Give him right back to him.
Put him right back in the neighborhood just a few blocks away from Mayor Emanuel. Think about it.
Just to create,
he
consternation in political circles in Chicago. That would be the rationale that I would try and sell Trump if I were advocating on behalf of Blagojevich, which I'm not, because he can rot for all I care. But let's take calls on it. Do you think Trump should commute his sentence either under the theory that Amy offered because they're friends and he recognized him as a showman, or the more cynical realpolitik version that I've offered as a way to inflict him upon his political enemies? And 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And if he does commute a sentence, I mean, you're right. He would be right in the face of Mayor Emanuel, because Rod Blagojevich, the reason why Mayor Emanuel knew about that open congressional seat, Rod likes to run. So he will be constantly jogging through Lakeview, Lincoln Park, then back up to Lakeview. And he was running by Rahm's house, and Rahm said, "What are you going to do next?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to run for governor." And that's when Mayor Emanuel, or Rahm Emanuel, said, "Oh, great, I'm going to run for his congressional seat."
Yeah, well, here,
so I'm
now
just
he
saying
can
that
now he can run. Now he can run against Rahm. His conviction is related to state government, so I think that
or he can be an alderman.
I don't believe he is ineligible. I have to check this, but I don't believe he's ineligible to run for a city office. So he could get back just in time to run for mayor against Tiny Dancer. Wouldn't that be fun?
So here's a Blago. When asked about President Trump.
About President Trump, I'll say this. He's been nothing but personally kind to me. And our focus is on the Supreme Court, and I owe it to the people of Illinois, frankly, to tough it out and to prove to them that I didn't cross the line.
Hey, Rod?
Yeah?
Stop doing us favors. I owe it to the people of Illinois. This is what I'm saying. This guy's such a slimy, amoral political hack.
Right.
You should not take a word that emanates from that hole in the middle of his head as authentic. It is all calculated for political purpose. There's nothing genuine or honest about it.
Well, Rod Blagojevich always wanted to be president of the United States. He wanted to use the governorship as a stepping stone to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So is he jealous of President Obama?
Here's what I was afraid of. And it's funny because I think this sums it up. It's a historic election and good for America, great for America. And here Obama was on the way to be president, and I was feeling increasing heat from these people who were I felt determined to get me. And then I came home to Patty and spent some time with her, and I asked her, "Do you think he's going to the White House and I'm going to the House?"
Well, that is what happened, and hopefully Patty said, yes, that's what's going to happen. But
could they be less interesting?
Well, how about his never give up? Can we play one? This is going to be
serious.
Yeah, don't give up hope. He's got a message, Dan, for all those people who feel suppressed, who feel hopeless out there. Never give up.
I would do a shout-out, Phil, to my fellow underdogs out there who are facing powerful forces and long odds. Yeah. Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Even if you've hit rock bottom, as I have. Put faith over fear. You got to go through the fire. Run with patient endurance the race that's set before you. And if you have to, take a stand.
Yeah.
Did you throw up in your mouth, or did you die a
No,
little?
because that's what I expect from him.
Yeah.
That's what I expect from him.
If you want to see more, Channel 5 is having a half-hour show about Blagojevich at 6:30 on Friday.
Yeah, and make sure you're near a shower because you're going to need to towel off after listening to this scumbag, this pathological liar, political hack, mope, corrupt, dishonest, destructive. That's Rod Blagojevich's legacy.
So do you think he has a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Rick on the West Side.
Yeah, Dan, I'm with you on this. I believe the guy should do all his time. You're probably familiar with this. Years ago, when Betty Lauren Maltese, the ex, I don't know what she was, the president of Cicero, she was sentenced to prison for a long term, and she filed a motion for a sentence reduction. She came before Judge Ruben Castillo. He denied it. He said that politicians should be held to the highest standard, that they should give the harshest sentences as a deterrent when they violate the public trust.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
You know
right,
what I'm
Rick.
saying?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Thanks for the call, Rick. And Maltese, I think, got a decade. She deserved every day of it, and Rod Blagojevich deserves every day of 14 years or whatever his sentence is. Fred in Effingham.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
I'm a retired state employee, so I took it in the shorts from Blagojevich when he was still governor. But I'm a retired cop, and I just have an observation about the sentencing. There's 3 cases I remember that all were sentenced that week. Here in Effingham County, there was a lady, I think she was actually from the northern part of the state, had exited the interstate, took a wrong turn, crossed the center line, hit some people, people died, but she had drugs in her system. She got 8 years in prison for that. And also that week, the doctor that administered Michael Jackson a lethal dose of drugs was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Those people all killed somebody else. Rod Blagojevich, which again, I'm not his friend, was sentenced to 14 years, and he just thought about a crime. He should be in prison.
Actually, he didn't just think about a crime.
Well,
No,
he did try to shake down the.
Yeah, that's not
owner of
thinking.
Children's
That's not
Hospital.
thinking about it. And the bill of particulars in his impeachment details a lot more than that, Fred. So no, he didn't just think about a crime. Let's not recast history here. He's a bad actor, and he's part of a kleptocracy, and he's part of a kleptocracy that came right after the previous governor had gone to prison. And so the heightened standard and the more stiff sentence as a message to the political ruling class in this godforsaken kleptocracy. You understand? Context matters.
Like I said, I'm not his fan. I'm not his friend. That's just an observation about sentencing in certain cases in this.
I understand.
Yeah, I think it was a gross miscarriage of justice.
I know you do.
I know. I'm with Fred.
Thanks
I'm
for
just
the
saying
call,
I'm with
Fred.
Fred.
But
he could come back and be alderman, and then he'd be in Rahm's face every city council meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be spectacular.
Probably get elected. I mean, that's
of course he would.
That district, Rostenkowski, Blagojevich, Tiny Dancer, Quigley, all criminals. Dan in Frankfurt.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Listen, I was watching that Madigan documentary,
Yeah.
and it was reported in there that Blagojevich was boasting about how many jobs he had received for helping Madigan out. So here's a guy who's, drumming up votes for Madigan. He's got 5 jobs, and he wants to know how many jobs this other guy's got. And the other guy didn't know what he was talking about. If you watch that documentary, you can see that or hear it.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the call, Dan. Part of the mobocracy. So he's the one mob boss who got caught, and some of the other mob bosses didn't, so we're supposed to feel sympathy for the mob boss that did. This related story, Mattoon, Illinois.
Oh, Charleston Mantoon, Eastern Illinois.
Mattoon forced to cut ambulance services to pay for growing pension crisis. Cut ambulance service. So local police and fire pensions, less than half funded, nearly doubled over the past decade, have the city's pension costs, overwhelming local taxpayers' ability to pay for them. So vital services are suffering as a result. Mattoon forced to cut its fire department's ambulance services to help make its annual pension payment. It's indirect, but when and we'll see how they're going to backfill response from local communities or cost sharing or however. But the idea is all of the policies. You think policy is without consequence? The policies that have been pursued by including Blagojevich over the last 50 years, not limited to him, but certainly including him, which were for political reasons, for reasons of building loyalty through patronage, campaign cash for his own political power, in addition to his own personal interests in using his political office to make himself wealthy. They do have consequences. They have real human consequences. And many of them are being visited upon towns throughout the state at present. So do yourself a favor and try and connect a few dots rather than just look in isolation at a 14-year sentence this scumbag former governor got as compared to what other scumbags get for other crimes. It's a cheap way to look at it. It's surface skimming, and you're missing the point, and you're contributing to the kleptocracy by essentially excusing it. You should have zero empathy for the racket that Blagojevich ran for the 6 years he was governor. as you should, for the rackets that continue to be run by Chicago Democrat Pauls and their accomplices. Karen and Bartlett.
Yes, I listen to you every day, and I really respect your opinion most of the time, but I think that you are off ball on this one. I've been listening to you all week, and I feel he did get an injustice. 14 years, he didn't really have any money transfer. It didn't prove anything.
It's not true.
We still have all. Pardon me?
It's not true.
What's not true?
No money transfer. When you shake down enterprises for campaign cash, that's a money transfer.
I know, but he didn't go to trial for all of that. He went to trial.
Actually, no, you're wrong about that too. This is where people need to understand exactly what the nature of this case is. He was convicted on 17 felony counts. Ultimately, even after the appeals, it wasn't just.
7 were dropped.
It wasn't. Yes, 17 he was convicted on. It was not just related to the quote unquote sale of the Senate seat. It was not. It included shakedowns of things like Children's Hospital, and all you have to do is go back and look at the news clips. Yeah,
I remember that.
Yes,
but I still think that he wanted to, object to this. So he had another trial, and then he met with the same judge again. It really was a setup, I think.
It was a setup.
And I don't like him. Believe me, I don't. But I don't think it proved anything because we still have so much corruption in Illinois. It didn't stop anybody from doing anything.
Well, thanks for the call, Karen. I appreciate it. Yes, we still have so much corruption in Illinois. It's still a kleptocracy because a lot of the kleptocrats are still in charge. We just removed one. But why should we have sympathy for the one we removed? Let's focus on removing the more. What about that? I mean, look, 23 of 24 jurors voted to convict him on all charges. He had one juror that was a holdout in the first trial and 0 jurors that were a holdout in the second trial. And they heard all the evidence. So give those jurors, 23 of 24 of them in 2 trials, some respect for poring over the actual evidence that was presented for all of the charges for which he was indicted and convicted. George in Libertyville.
Dan, I feel so sorry for you that you have to try to speak to the unwashed masses on how insane this is. These are the same people that complain that we have the government we have, and then we finally send a message to all the future politicians that this crap will not be put up with, and people then say, well, I think this guy was set up or dealt with unfairly. You know, hurrah for you. This crap needs to end. And because of his conviction, who knows what might have been stopped since then that we'll never know about, because guys are like saying, hey, man, the state's now getting serious. Our fiefdom might be over.
Thanks for the call, George. Well, I mean, here's the thing, too. Oh, the sentence was too stiff. So this is the hill people want to die on. It shouldn't have been 14 years. What should it be? 8, 6, 5, 3, 9? Who gives a crap? What's the difference?
His daughters give a crap.
Yeah, whatever. So does every other convicted felon sitting in the joint. What's the difference?
Yeah, but their sentences were probably
everything that's going on in Illinois and shaving off 4 years of Blagojevich's sentence or 6 years of Blagojevich's sentence. That's what I'm really animated about. It's embarrassing. Jordan in Forest Park. And it explains why we have the state we have, which is a fracking joke. Kleptocracy. Apologists for kleptocracy and for thugs. For all the people that spend all the time bullying in school, bullying this, bullying that. You have a former governor who bullied Children's Hospital for campaign cash. Oh, that's fine. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, gosh, I feel so bad for him because he's got daughters. Give me a break.
They all do it, Dan. He just got caught.
This guy was a thug. So you caught a thug. Mm-hmm. You caught a thug, and you don't care. Release the thug. We caught one. Bully, bully, bully.
He's done his time.
And this guy's a thug, and let's release him. Give me a break. The complete lack of ability to connect the dots, it truly never ceases to amaze me. The complete lack of being able to apply one standard in one situation and carry it through to other situations that present the same issues astounds me. And as somebody getting pummeled from every direction by all the thugs you apologize for, it gets a little tiresome in this state. I don't want to hear complaints from people who are obsessed about Blagojevich's time in prison. Jordan, Forest Park.
I think everything that Blagojevich has been saying has been a sales job that almost all cons come up with to try to get sympathy. And I wonder Blagojevich would be talking about, if he had been released a year or two ago, would he be still saying the same things he's saying now? No, of course not, because it's in his best interest to try to get favor from the public for all the things that he did, make everybody feel sorry for him, but it's a con job.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the call, Jordan. And we've got a lot of people that are willing to be conned over and over again. Every day is Groundhog Day. Scam me anew today. I'll fall for it. Don't worry. John in Lincolnwood.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I listen to you every day, and you know what? I really wish, and I don't know about everybody else, but I really wish you guys would stop talking about this loser. He's a loser. 17 counts. He got what he deserved. There is no sense. You know what? What happens if any of these other corrupt politicians like Mel or Madigan or anybody gets in, and then they finally get convicted? What, are we going to cry about them too?
Yeah.
Just stop talking about this guy. I voted for him. You know, I was a Democrat. Now I'm all conservative, but I can't take it anymore. Oh, please commute his sentence. Oh, please, he's got 2 kids. You know what? You should have thought about that beforehand.
Thanks for the call, John. Yeah, when Madigan gets convicted, let's just say hypothetically, I can't wait for Andrew Madigan and all his buddies at Mesereau to come before Judge Zagel and cry about, oh, their dear old dad, and we're going to miss him so, and he means so much to us. Boo fracking who? So let's, let all the criminals out of the prisons that have kids. That's the big argument. Give me a break.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing, independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his 2 business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Got your head in the IT cloud? How are things in there? Confusing? When your business is considering the location for your precious data, or if you're already using the cloud and can't seem to navigate through, Turnkey IT is ready to clear things up. You need to be ready. It's estimated that by 2020, over 78% of all small businesses will be partially or totally using the cloud. The truth is, it's great for everyone in some way, but in what way for you? Turnkey IT can help your business understand the cloud and help you utilize it safely and securely. And sure, you may already be using Office 365, but there's so much more that the cloud can do. Turnkey IT is eager to educate you on what's best for your business. And don't forget, if you're frustrated by the lack of responsiveness or the high cost of your current IT company, Turnkey can help with that too. Clear up the cloudiness when it comes to the latest technology. Be sure your business is current. Visit turnkey.pro to make contact today. Turnkey.pro.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs because he thought my competitors' closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender who talks and talks and talks and talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License T 4358, and MLS 19186.
Are you satisfied that your business is being seen effectively online? Call 866-SEEN-360. That's 866-SEEN-360 and discover how you can capture a larger share of traffic, leads, and sales from your online advertising. Call 866-SEEN-360 for a proven system to market your business online that includes unique reporting that tracks and confirms that you're being seen. Call today and talk to a digital expert who can provide your business with a comprehensive strategy. That's 866-SEEN-360.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.